And we're live!
Hey everyone, welcome to Fans of Power.
Isn't
Look
that
at
the
this.
cutest
I'm
opening we've ever done?
You're fine. That's it. You got it so right. Exactly. Welcome to episode 276 of Fans of Power. I am Joe Amato, and I'm here with my partners in crime, Tyler T-Rex Baker and Nasty
You just
Nate Nate.
steamrolled over her intro. She needs to do
No, it's a
What the
beautiful
hell's the
intro.
matter with you?
Now I got to intro her. I got to give her the intro because we have somebody
That
here
was
as
what
a
we
guest.
did. Oh my God, Joe.
Yes, it's a
All
double.
All right, you know what? Just scrap all this. I can't do this.
That's
Nate,
it.
you got
He's
to
like,
re-edit
"Done."
the whole damn thing. We got to do it all over.
No, I'm not doing that
Well,
again.
you did it for Joe. Was he better
No,
than me?
I'm not doing that. Yeah, what is 276? I can't believe we're inching closer to 300.
That's right, but we are being joined by somebody that's not only a super Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power fan, but somebody who can really appreciate when it comes to 70s and 80s sci-fi, when it comes to Conan type movies, barbarian movies, and not just movies, it comes to cartoons, comes to TV series, and that is Rebekah Cox, who also is an amazing customizer. She does props, as you're going to see in the background, she'll talk about, and amazing cosplay. So yeah, Rebekah, thank you for joining us. It's going to be a blast tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm a huge fan of your guys' show. Like, I was just rewatching your episodes with William Stout, which was my favorite, because I'm going to be interviewing William Stout in a couple days. So
Oh, no kidding.
I was like,
Really?
I gotta make sure I'm not gonna ask the same questions,
Is
and I'm
this
trying to
gonna
keep
be on your
it. I'm trying to keep it.
tricks?
This is for Iconic Con, which is next month, hosted by Retro Blasting. So
Oh, okay.
What a tie-in there. It just
yeah.
this is all encompassing there. So did we set the bar pretty high with our interviews with him? Or you're like, I can.
Oh,
speak
yeah.
these guys.
No, that
Okay.
was. I had to make sure I wasn't going to ask all the same questions, and I'm trying to keep it down to like 3 or 5 Masters questions because I'm not just going to make it a Masters video, even though I want to.
No, you see, I feel like now because you brought that up, like we were supposed to bring him back for a third interview. He was going to answer his time about working on Predator. So if you managed to work in a Predator question of some kind, like I would love to get that answered since we never
Okay.
did bring him back to
That'd be
complete the
awesome.
trilogy. Yes. And then I
will.
watch it and I'm like, all right, he answered the question. I at least it was answered by somebody. So that'd be tremendous. I'd love to watch that.
Well,
I'm
Rebekah,
looking
before
forward
we
to it.
do get going on this, I want you to tell everybody a little bit of something about yourself, especially when it comes to all those damn outfits you make and everything. But go ahead. Tell us something.
Well, I'm a big Masters of the Universe fan. I first saw Masters of the Universe back in 1981. Kevin Smith was very nice to let me borrow his time machine. And
Oh, look at that.
I was waiting.
Kick
I
him
knew
in
what
the
she was
nuts
doing
as much
there.
as you can tonight. God,
She
that's
doesn't
brilliant.
care. And that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, so you guys were sharing that same damn time machine, watching the shit before even the toys came out. So that's great.
Yeah.
Look at you.
it's great to watch it with a super fan like him. 'Cause-
It's going to be a great show already. This girl's fucking brilliant.
That's right. And obviously, yeah, we're going to be getting a different perspective because it does come down to sometimes a lot when anybody is critical about anything or giving their opinions, they always want to say it's just the guys or it's just man babies or something. So when we get to that part where we're talking about anything, whether it's the upcoming cartoon, your thoughts on Netflix, She-Ra, anything you want, definitely we'll get into that. But I mean, you have been.
I might get a little heated talking about.
You say whatever you want. You know this podcast, we don't hold back, so you be sure to just let it go. But so you've been basically a Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power fan your whole life, or did you get on to it later, or what?
Well, I was a 90s kid. Well, to start with, this is a fact about me that I'm very proud of, but a lot of people don't appreciate. And I was born on the same day that the Masters of the Universe movie came out. So August 7th, 87 was the day I was born, which was the day that movie came out. I love that.
How
I'm so
impressive
proud
that
of
knowledge
that.
is there.
It was like foretold, she was born, and it was like
I'm
maybe
proud of that.
there's some sort of thing going on where there's
You
gonna
should
be
be
some
proud.
sort of
Make sure you tell William
lost
Stout that
artifact
too.
somewhere.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
Yeah.
he's actually a friend of mine. We met at Dragon
What?
Con a while ago. Yeah, we met at Dragon Con like 6 years ago, and we were just happened. I was selling art prints, and he was selling his art prints right next to me. So we met there. We went out for dinner, and we became friends. So I emailed him. I
This
was
girl
like,
just shows up and just shows us up on our own podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I guess now we got to figure
I
out.
was going to have lunch with him sometime too, but he couldn't make it for God knows.
Let's
whatever
kick
reason. I guess
Tyler
because he
off the
lives in
show.
California.
And Rebekah can be the new third member.
I'll
of the
just
show.
I'll just flip this podcast is over here and just she can
Surprised
fill
she
in
doesn't
my
have probably
spot. She's got
you got a
blonde
prop
hair,
of
so
the-
she just fills in the blonde hair gap on the show there.
And I can just imagine no William Stout. She's probably got one of the props of the Cosmic Key or something.
I
Did you get
wish.
trinkets from him? No? Oh,
No.
okay. Thought you might.
I don't ask for stuff from him, except I did ask for this interview from him.
So
And that's
Born.
coming up again.
What?
The interview that you're doing now. When's that coming up again for fans to know when you're doing that?
I'm going to do it on the 29th, but it's going to air, I think, on the July 8th on Iconicon website.
Yeah. Iconicon is from July 7th through 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you guys remember when Michael was on the show, he talked about it briefly, Iconicon, and they did it July 7th through 11th, so it's like 7-11, so people would remember it and they would.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
He
there
did
you
say
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Rebekah, another tip just in case you didn't know on 7-Eleven, because you know it's going to come from Joe Amato. 7-Eleven
Great.
gives free Slurpees on 7-Eleven.
Everybody
Remember
knows that, Joe. Even I know
I
that.
didn't
This
know that.
isn't like your
See?
chili
She
putting in
didn't
the
know.
bag.
I have a
Nathan,
7-Eleven right by my house. I didn't know that.
There you go. So see, now I just informed you. Now you can go get free 7-Eleven Slurpee. See, I'm always here to help everybody out. So
How many times a day do you go on 7-Eleven, Joe? How many Slurpees
Just
do you
two.
obtain?
Just two times. That's it. It's free. How can you pass up something free? Who would
So-
pass
Well,
up?
not everyone's as hard up as you are.
Are you just going during like a shift change, or are you doing like a complete makeover? Are you
No, I just
doing
come back
a
like
Zartan on us and disguising
5 hours
yourself?
later. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You come back 5 hours
So you're doing
later.
you're doing the shift change thing, so they wouldn't
Alright.
recognize you.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see.
want this to be about me and my insanity. I want to get back to Rebekah here. So, beyond
Yeah.
Masters, Princess of Power, like, have you just always had this passion for, like, kind of like sword and sorcery
Yes.
and yeah?
Yeah, that's how I got into it. I was obsessed with Xena and Red Sonja when I was a kid. And from that, my big brother's like, well, you're going to like She-Ra. So I rented he first rented it for me was the VHS tape with it had like 3 episodes on it. I think it was Hantara, The Troll's Dream, and For Want of a Horse. Those were the
That was a
3
different
episodes that were on
VHS release than what I had, because mine only had, I guess it wasn't the Magic Window RCA VHS, because it must have been like,
No, it had like 3 episodes on one tape.
yeah, I wonder if it was like that Rainbow brand. I forgot what it was called. It was like an off.
I think it was. I think it had.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the
those had-
cover of it. I think it had like balloons on it or something. I don't know.
Yes, I
But,
know the one you're talking about.
yeah.
That's really cool though that your intro was through the VHS tapes as well, especially the one with Huntara on it.
That's such a great episode. That's one of my favorite episodes.
So was it She-Ra then that you basically got introduced before He-Man, or how did
Yeah,
that
I
work?
got
Was it-
introduced to She-Ra before He-Man, but then I also rented after he rented that VHS tape for me, I became obsessed with it, and I also rented The Secret of the Sword.
There
So-
you go.
Yeah. And then as I got older, it's like my love for that just got bigger, so I bought the DVDs and I watched the entire show.
So you're basically having Conan at the same time, or was
Oh
that a
yeah, I
little
was
bit after?
obsessed.
Before?
No, I loved Conan too.
So you always been doing
Yeah.
that and collecting the stuff. So the figures, did they come later when you started getting the He-Man and She-Ra figures? Then after the cartoon, or maybe did you just have a couple before the cartoon, possibly?
No, because I was a 90s kid, this was all like, I don't know, 1997, 8.
Oh, okay.
I would go to, but I did find some figures because we would go to the flea market a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found a She-Ra figure and I found a Queen Angela figure. And I was like, I'd never seen them before, but I love She-Ra, so I was so happy when I found them. And then as I got older, I started to collect them.
When did you start customizing? Because that's the shit you do that's amazing. I see your customs and they're insane. They're amazing.
I started customizing when I was in my teens, so it was right before Classics came out, because I remember there wasn't, like, I remember when I made my Shadow Weaver that there weren't any Shadow Weaver figures. And then,
Okay.
like, shortly after I made mine, I was like, oh, they're coming out with one.
Yeah, and did you see, I think around that time, maybe just a little bit before, there was some of the people that were doing customs of Shadow Weaver, and
Oh
they were
yeah,
selling them on eBay. Yeah, and remember,
yeah.
I think it was one person in particular, he never put a logo to say it was a custom. He was trying to sell it like it was actually official Mattel product.
Oh
And then I
really?
think that person, yeah, and he was starting to get reported. So then that's when eBay said, no, if you're going to do something, you better say it's a custom, because it was like trying to trick people, and it was just going skyrocketing prices. So you got to
Hmm.
watch for some of that stuff when it gets kind of shifty. But yeah, I must say I've done a couple Princess of Power customs, but mine don't compare to what you did. And just even when you're redoing and like bringing them back to life, some of those videos that you showed on your Simple Tricks and Nonsense channel,
Oh, the
which you guys can
restoration.
find. Yeah, you can find those things right here on YouTube. Make sure you find her channel. I'm sure Nathan's got probably a link down there for you to subscribe.
Joe, link's already down there, man. I come prepared.
See, I knew he'd be ahead. But yeah, like I said, you got it to where the hair's back to normal, the lush colors back to that. So you do amazing stuff. And obviously, I'm going to be getting back to Tyler here in a second, so he can get you some questions. But later, we'll dig into about about the Netflix She-Ra and other stuff, because we got to get your honest opinion on stuff, because that's what we're about, is things we like, don't like. We're never going to just say everything's great or everything's shit. It's right there in the middle, and it's always a real, opinion. But go ahead, Tyler, if you got some stuff you want to shoot, because I know that you're, like I said, with her and her stuff with Red Sonja and Conan and all that. God, and she's got a hell of an array of a taste. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, just kind of be all over the place here tonight, but it's just hearing Michael like Red Sonja, I just, and that's another film I don't get to hear a lot of people really talk about. If it's ever brought up, it's some dipshit, doing a
like with the Masters. It's like,
yeah, it's just someone who's not very informed on it. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think you guys have really watched it. You're just kind of like, it's the popular.
I heard somebody else say it was bad, so it's fun.
Exactly.
It's popular to make fun of it for.
So yeah, you get it, and that's what I kind of feel like. I'm like, that's the hell. Even Roy Thomas, who worked on Red Sonja, like thought the movie was good, like that it had a lot of merit. It didn't get its justice. Not that it was like, yes, the quintessential Red Sonja fan, but it's just really cool because I grew up on that as well. It was I saw it before I saw Conan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad kept trying to get me to rent Conan for whatever reason. I thought the VHS box art looked awesome, but I just couldn't talk myself into renting it. I don't know why. I didn't like giving up a chance to rent a He-Man VHS tape on the weekends. That was just like, you got one option. That's what I'm going with. So. But I'd love to hear your takes on Red Sonja. I think Nathan watched it over the weekend for the first time in a long time.
I watched it last night, actually, before
awesome.
Went and I sat at the picket line for 4 hours early this morning. But yeah, I don't know why it gets so much hate. I mean, I guess it could be easy if you want to just pick on Bridget Nielsen and like Arnold and like their limitations, I guess, just because of the way that they speak, but I didn't have a problem with any of the dialogue. And for once, Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character, because a lot of the times when you throw a little kid in there, that's a toss-up if it's just going to be too annoying and grating that you don't want to watch it anymore. And I thought he played his role very, very well. It's just a nice, simple story, and it's short. It's 89 minutes. I'm like, why do people hate this so much? But it's like you guys said, it's probably one person's like, oh, it's bad, and then someone else is like, oh, well, it must be bad if he says it's bad. I don't know.
Much like the live-action film, everyone just copies.
Yep.
Everyone else.
Tons of beheadings in it. Lots of beheadings. It's great. It's great.
I love the beheading scenes. So when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with Red Sonja. So I very badly, I guess this is when I started customizing. I painted a Barbie into Red Sonja, and I would. I even chopped her hair and left it long in the back like mullet. But I would with my Ken dolls, I would unloosen their heads, and then I would make my Barbie chop their heads off.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That's brilliant.
It's so good. It's so
when you're
good.
doing this, are there other girls that would come over to your house expecting to play Barbies, and you're like, yeah, check this out, and they're chopping all the heads off, and they're just mortified, and they don't know what to think of it?
I didn't have that many friends growing up. I was just kind of me and my family.
Nothing wrong with that. You're probably better off, honestly. Kids are assholes.
Probably that's probably why. But
Nathan hates people. In case you didn't know that, he absolutely does hate people. That's his
Well,
thing.
you know, it's not so much hating people. I give people a chance, but it's just a very tiny window. Like if I work
Yep.
with you and you're lazy as shit, I'm like, all right, well, nothing to do with you. Won't talk to you. Nothing. I'm done.
Hmm.
With other people, it's kind of different, you know, outside of work, but it's not.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm like.
know.
I'm like a wolf. I just like my pack around me.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, Joe, if you lived around shitloads of rednecks, you'd probably hate people too.
Again,
They don't jive with your style, you know, with your street cred and all that, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, I was
You
watching
got-
Escape from New York, and I'm like, when the Duke comes around the corner with that music playing, I'm like, I wonder if when Joe's going to Kroger or 7-Eleven, like that same music that's playing when the Duke's arriving, like it's just, and he's still got like, you know, chandeliers and shit like hanging off his car, and Joe's got the using his hands to like signal when he's going to turn and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
here comes the Duke of parts unknown. You know.
Oh
It's
man,
different.
if we wouldn't get a copyright strike or anything, I would just set up a soundboard where I could just
We
play
have so
like
many
the
cool
music
things
when
to do on this
Joe's. I
podcast. We
know.
have to worry about someone like putting crime scene tape around our podcast all the damn time.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad to know that
Go
you're a
ahead,
fan. Joe, I'm talking here.
What?
I'm still focused on Red Sonja here. We'll move on to something else. We'll move on to food and beverage here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not done talking about Red Sonja.
Yeah, but
That movie does not get appreciated.
No, it does
And that's
not.
why I'm a big fan of your guys' podcast. You appreciate so much of the stuff I like and that other people like make fun of. So
See, that's
it's
why
awesome
we like
to
to
see
just
that.
call out those people, because we know a lot of people, those people who make their bullshit top 10 worst fantasy films of the 80s or top 10 reasons why He-Man is so lame or whatever. They're not fans of it. They never were. It's just the cool thing to just piss and shit all over classic 80s action films, classic 80s cartoons. Hell, even the 90s suffers from it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But people still want to defend the Phantom Menace for no logical reason. So I'm like, I don't have no use for you.
I think it's all just sort of apples and oranges when it comes to that stuff. Like, I guess if you really wanted to, you could sit down and be like, all right, well maybe that's cheesy or maybe that's corny, but I don't look at it that way.
Well, no one's also taken time to do a video that gives Red Sonja its due. You know, you see,
it's all saying something bad about it.
They just
Every
stop at the
review.
dialogue every time. It's always just the dialogue and
they're not talking like, you know, it's a Fast and Furious movie or something like that. They're talking of, you know, they're not saying dialogue that sounds like it's above our time. And you know, I mean, it's obviously they didn't get very far into. Hell, even Oliver Harper, like on his Conan the Destroyer, I think review, like touched on Red Sonja briefly, and again, kind of saying the same thing. I'm like, does anybody actually watch the film? Like, guts are
I don't
being,
think they do.
you know, stuck.
They probably don't. They probably start it, hit that little bit of dialogue, and just be like, oh, well, maybe that's too cringy for them, and they shut it off. But, I mean, the music rules, the cinematography's great, the set pieces are fun, like the that mechanical, what would you call that?
The killing machine is what it's referred to in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that rules, even I would dare to say that little bit's a little cheesy, but I appreciate it in the aspect of...
I can't, you know, as a kid, I fell in love with it. Rebecca, I'm sure you thought it was awesome, too. You know, you know, but hey, you can't really argue. We all love He-Man. There's a killing machine in a fantasy film. So for us to sit and say that's bogus, I'm like, I'm not going to say that. Not that it would have been in the comic books or any of the novels or anything like that, but one of my favorite sequences, and Rebecca, maybe you like this one too, is when, you know, she pretty much lets Calidor know, you know, what her role is. He challenges her. And I love the sword fight that starts kind of like fun, and then the Morricone score kicks in, and they can't beat each other. Like, I just love it keeps playing, and they just wear each other down.
It's a euphemism for sex, Tyler. They're going at it and they get tired.
I see that scene criticized a lot, and I don't think people get it that they're literally equals, and they just get tired.
What have they said about it? Because that's.
They're like, why are they fighting like that? That's so weird. And I'm like, because they're tired out because they literally can't beat one another.
It's brilliant storytelling without telling you anything. Joe, are you getting all this?
What happened? No.
Joe, have you seen Red Sonja, Joe? Be honest.
Yes, I have, but I haven't seen it probably since I was a kid. Not that I hated it, just I haven't seen it since I was a kid. There's a lot of movies that from back in the day I just didn't watch again. Not because of not liking them, but hell, like even those.
You still have a VCR, Joe?
Yes, I do. I even have those.
That's maybe what we should do is.
It is on DVD too.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying for the sake of the nostalgia, maybe people should just start mailing Joe VHS tapes of movies that he hasn't seen in a while, so he'll actually sit down and watch them, and they would be cheap enough that he wouldn't feel too bad about them mailing them to him.
I would
because some of the
like
movies
to see the Red Sonja VHS myself.
No, it would be
I had
cool.
that
I mean,
when I was a
because like,
kid.
Yeah,
Now,
I had
see,
a double
that's- I
take.
mean,
One of
stuff
my
like-
mom's coworkers. Damn it, Joe.
well, you know, God, give me a chance. I thought I was going to talk about some of the
All
movies
right,
I did
I
see,
will
but I
save
didn't see this.
my comment here. We're jumping all over each other here. It's a battle
That's
royal.
why we try. But of course, there's that little delay hiccup, so I don't mean to cut you off there, Tyler. I apologize.
It's quite Joe. There's no apology on this podcast. You can apologize to me for nothing, there, dude.
All right, there. Now listen up, shithead. Deathstalker is another series of movies that I watched, but I haven't
Those
seen.
Those movies kind of suck, but I still love
Yeah,
them.
they do. They do.
Yeah,
I had a
haven't
hard
seen
time
those
sitting through those.
Yeah, and I haven't seen those since I was a kid either. But I remember just again, it's like we always said the box art was like really what attracted you to. Yeah, it's like they were so damn cool, and they just don't have stuff like that.
They were all good, but then you watch the movie, you're like,
yeah.
see,
so
Conan and Red
promise,
Sonja could live up to their box art. Certain other movies cannot.
Stalker didn't know.
Oh, do you have the movie
Beastmaster could live up
poster?
to its box art.
Is that poster art? I got the movie poster. It's I got it in the den here. It's not on display at the moment. It's behind the Conan poster, but that artwork that was on the VHS too of Red Sonja like holding the sword, and you got Calidor in the background. Oh man, beautiful painting.
That's on my DVD box. My VHS had pictures on it. It didn't have that painting on it.
Was it the blue MGM release with? Okay,
Yep.
so that was the second. I had that in like the late '90s. I went to like a Sam Goody in Fairfax and picked it up because I had as a kid, my mom knew I loved it so much. One of her coworkers double taped it for me and the live action He-Man film. So I had those on
where they recorded off the TV.
Yeah.
That's
so
what my first Red Sonja was. I had recorded it on DVD, but all the gore was cut out of it. So when I bought that VHS, I was like, "This is even better."
It was the only way to watch it back then too. And honestly, my parents having an issue with the beheadings and her cutting people's stomachs open and stuff like that. But you know, that's kind of how parents were in the '80s. I guess some things were okay and other things were not. But
my dad didn't care. He was just like,
my dad
son,
didn't either.
there's titties. I'm gonna cover your eyes. Don't
my dad
look
had
at the
an issue with
breasts.
that. Yeah, and choice words. So I just would have to help. If you want to know more about that, listen to our failed podcast, Beyond Retro. If you want to hear more stories about that,
Yeah,
we're
but they would have
hole.
to dig through all of those.
We got one
episodes to
on
find
Red
that
Sonja and Beastmaster Conan. We got one on Point Break. We got one on various other action films that no one gave a shit about. So if you really want to know more about our feelings on that, dig those up. You know, give it some views. You know.
Yeah, the name of the channel's The Dump Bin now. How it's suitable.
It's pretty
name for the
appropriate.
channel. Yeah.
So I was trying to dig up a picture of this, but I went as Red Sonja when I was a little kid for Halloween. So I had a Red Sonja costume that my sister made me. I was trying so hard to find pictures of it, but I do not have it.
So did you have a
awesome.
red mullet and everything too?
I did not have the red mullet. They didn't go that far. But I bought, for Halloween, I bought the red spray and stuff for my hair.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was your outfit based on the movie or like the comic book or the movie design? Yeah.
That's what I really liked when I was a kid. I didn't read the comics when I was a kid. I didn't read those until I got older. And I love that too. And I love that look too. But I also love the movie. I can appreciate differences when they're good. People like to say that, like, oh, you just don't like things that are different. When I would complain about the new She-Ra and whatever, I'm like, no, I like things that are different. I love the Masters of the Universe movie, and I love that what William Stout did for that and Red Sonja and everything. So it's just like when it's good, I'll accept it. If it's not good,
you're talking about Netflix She-Ra. I'd love to hear it. Really, what is now? Of course, what were you expecting from that cartoon? What did you want that you didn't get, and what is it you just didn't like about the cartoon? Your honest opinions of everything.
Oh gosh, I was about to
say whatever you want, Rebecca.
Make a video review of it, but it was literally just turning into a rant video, and I was like, I'm not gonna post this because it's literally just a rant video. I don't got anything good to say about that cartoon. I watched the first season to give it a fair chance, and I didn't watch anything else after that.
I had
hated
to
the
because Joe
designs.
was like, we're reviewing it. Watch the whole season. I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry.
What'd you think of the prom episode? Wasn't it great?
And see, speaking of
It
that
was
with the
so
designs,
bad. It was-
and that's what I mean. Like aesthetically, some of the things just made no sense. Like the whole logic with Frosta in her outfit. We said that so many times. Is like, why would
Dude, the
somebody? 'Cause
stereotype.
yeah, they
made
did a
it's like,
stereotype,
oh,
and
stereotype.
right, a stereotype, and given her a parka to wear. It's like when you have the
She
power
doesn't
of
need
cold, you
it.
don't
She doesn't get cold.
exactly. Right, she doesn't get cold. It's like, oh, but let's put the warmest shit on her possible. It's like, you guys just, their choices just made no sense, and the stories were just boring as shit. There was nothing to them. There was nothing
It
exciting.
should
Like,
not have been called She-Ra. There was nothing in it
Right.
that was She-Ra.
It should have been a new IP, like
Exactly.
different character designs, everything. Like have your own little universe. You don't need to take an established one and toss all the agenda stuff and everything on top of it, because it's just it was just for buzz. That's all it was, and it lasted for what, a couple months, and then it came out, and they had a couple seasons, and now nobody talks about it until
Exactly.
Joe has to bring it up and dig up this corpse again so we can beat it over the head with a hammer for the 15th time.
and to make one thing clear about that new cartoon, for those who were thinking, well, they kept renewing it, it must have been a success. No, they didn't keep renewing it. They bought 52 episodes that they split into 5 seasons.
Mhm.
So that could be
That
pretty
every
much
episode
said.
was like what, 5 episodes, or every season was like 5 episodes.
Well, they had 13, 13,
They were
then
13 for the
7,
first
6,
one, and they got shorter and shorter and
oh,
shorter.
that, yeah,
It's like-
13. Yeah, they did 13, 7, 6, and then I think 13 and 13 again, whatever, to make it 52. But yeah, they like I said, they took one of the seasons and basically split it in 2 others to make it seem like it was 5 seasons, when it really in actuality was probably 3. But there. Either way, though, it's like, we just heard your opinion. You said you just didn't like the designs. It just wasn't for you. It wasn't what you remembered of what you, what you think a hero is.
all the way around. I hate that
It's just like,
show. I'm sorry. It made me so mad. I'm calm about it now because it's come and gone, and it's like I can forget about it. But oh my god, when it was coming out, my poor boyfriend was hearing about it every single day. It's like
Now, people in your circle that you converse with, through social media or whatever, are you running into people that thought it was great, or
oh yeah,
like, oh
Yep.
God, all right, so
I have friends who liked it, but I'm just
what do they like about it? I'm curious. What can they possibly say they liked about it?
I didn't ask them.
Were they?
She
Were,
just
well, I
gets
mean,
up,
were
walks
they?
away. This dinner's over and flips the
Were they
table
well
over.
versed enough
Nope.
in the original?
None of them.
Okay, that's why.
None of them.
That's why they liked it, Joe, because they're coming into it with fresh eyes.
Whenever
They
I
don't
would talk
know,
about
like.
how I didn't like it, they would just bring up how cheap and cheesy the original one was. And I
Oh
was
my
like, have
God!
you seen it?
Watch the interview.
And they're like, no. I'm like, can you name one episode? Nope.
Which
I'm
I
like-
feel
Sounds like the
is
people that
what-
worked on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember?
and I wouldn't be surprised if the people who work on this latest incarnation of He-Man are the same, same mentality. I mean, there's
Mhm.
it's pretty easy to point at
There's-
people who never actually watched the show of either one of them because of how quickly they are. So it's so easy to shit on it for the same small list of reasons. It looks old, or it's cheap looking, or the animation limited. Like that's all you see there. So obviously, you don't really give
And that
anything
goes
much.
back. That goes back to people complaining about Red Sonja. Is some people just see something that's not made in the last 20 years and thinks it's cheesy.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, then obviously
You
you must think the original Star Wars is cheesy. It was made in 1977, or you
Mhm.
probably think Dirty Harry is a weak cop action film, or you think Jaws is lame because it's robotics and not bullshit CGI, and it's just like you should never have to explain quality to anybody if people are so
Surprised
quick.
they haven't remade that yet.
Well, thank God Spielberg shot that down again.
Speaking of like a remake and reboot and tying this into Red Sonja as well, do you guys remember when
Robert Rodriguez?
Rodriguez?
Yeah.
I wish that would have happened. If it kind of would have had like that gritty, cheaper
the one that
grindhouse sort of.
Rosario Dawson. No, not Rosario Dawson.
Rose
sorry.
McGowan.
Rose McGowan.
Thank you. She would have
I
been
think
good.
that would have been all right.
Yeah.
I
would have
think
been
so.
all right.
I was
She's-
pretty excited about the teaser posters they had released and things
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, she looked really good.
But I didn't see the Conan remake that she was in, which because it looked like a piece of
Fortunately,
shit.
I saw that. I wish I
Oh,
did
the one
not.
with Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
I think I watched 20 minutes of it, and I was like, I don't know. And then I was
Nope.
like, maybe I shouldn't get too deep into this, and I stopped.
Yeah. That's you start
I would be
recognizing
willing
stuff.
to give it another chance, but
Did you like it, Rebecca?
The new Conan?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
The other day at work. The other day at work, somebody tried to tell me, because Conan came up, and somebody tried to tell me that Jason Momoa was a better Conan than Arnie.
Wow.
And I was just like,
better than like the Conan from the TV series back in the 90s or something?
Oh, God.
Like better than Arnold.
I
no,
forgot
they
about
said
that.
better than Arnie. And I was like,
Is that how they refer to him, as Arnie? Is that what they said?
no, they didn't say
No.
Arnie. They said Arnold.
Oh, okay.
That's just
Oh,
me talking Arnie.
Oh, okay. Well,
She's
obviously.
friends with him too,
Yeah,
Tyler.
I'm
Of
best
course.
friend.
Well, he did a
They're on a
personalized
nickname
voicemail
basis.
for me, so try and beat that. All she's doing is just showing me up here on the podcast the whole damn time.
Yeah, I know.
Lacey knows she got sword fighting lessons from Anthony DeLongis.
Yeah, probably.
She
You're
probably
off the
got
show,
to hang
Tyler.
out with
You've
Dolph
been
in
replaced.
person.
Oh, I would cry if I met Dolph Lundgren. I would cry if I met Dolph Lundgren, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just certain people I would just...
Tyler
would
would
love
too.
to
I
meet
would
if you
cry
met him
too,
in person.
unabashedly. Oh God,
It'd be big old turkey burger tears.
it would. It'd be amazing. No,
They'd be like, it smells like meat over here. And he's just a boo-hooing.
Yeah.
I hope I would be there just to videotape.
Yeah,
it all,
Nathan
watch
would be
him
there to
cry
make
and
fun of it, and make sure it's like edited a certain way that makes me look like a complete loser or whatever. And
yeah,
he'd be like,
it would be like it would be like on the during WrestleMania when they would show the fan access and they would have like the girls walking up to the table and just like crying when that's what I would do too.
As if I'm like
Edit
some
it to make it
brat
look
kid
like
meeting John Cena. I start crying. Yeah. God.
I admittedly don't watch that much wrestling.
No, that's cool. Well, there's
you're
nothing to
better
watch
off for
today
it.
anyway. So if we
No.
anything we reference is
It's
typically
horrible.
old school stuff that all three of us grew up on. But
Well, and I have to reference older stuff.
Speaking of
because that's the only
wrestling,
thing that you would get.
I remember being a little kid, and in the 90s, there being rumors about a Red Sonja movie. And, what was her name? There was a wrestling lady who was rumored.
Well,
I think this was
China,
a
was it?
rumor. No, it wasn't China. She was really beautiful, blonde.
Oh, Rena Mero was attached to it. I think
I
Sable.
think that was her. Sable.
Sable.
Thank you.
Sable.
Oh
yeah.
God,
I
that would have
started
been
to watch
fucking
it.
terrible.
Just because I heard that she was, and from Wizard Magazine, I heard that she was going to be Red Sonja. So I was like,
Oh.
I gotta watch this lady. And I'm like 8 at the time. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, I bought an action figure and everything because I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a new Red Sonja movie. Never happened. But
I'm so sorry.
geeky
I'm
is
so
that?
sorry.
That's awesome. But knowing that she read it in Wizard Magazine and went and bought a wrestling figure and watched it, like I can relate to that so much too. But
Yeah,
I remember hearing that too,
just-
and I'm glad.
Ugh.
I mean, physically she could have
No.
played
It
it.
came-
Physically, that is it. That's as far as
physically,
it goes.
they'd have to dub her voice. Oh my God, those
Terrible.
promos. Those promos were terrible.
Yeah.
physically, she would have looked good. She was
Yeah,
gorgeous.
like the hair, everything. She, a beautiful
If you give her
woman.
red
So-
hair, yeah.
Yeah. I think. Joe, do you think she could have worked from a movie poster standpoint? Sable as Red Sonja.
She could
I'm
model
gonna
Red
be honest.
Sonja, just not play Red Sonja.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know her build. She just didn't look strong
This is
enough.
for all the women who want to be me,
Oh,
and
God.
for all the men who come to see me.
Oh,
That's
good
terrible.
God. Yeah, it's just
God.
she
ugh.
didn't look strong enough.
Oh.
But I mean, I'm
Well,
sure.
but
you're right.
but most of Red Sonja's
Sonja's
imagery, she's not like brilt.
I know.
Stacy Keebler would have been a better Red Sonja.
Yeah, just Sable in my mind.
Boy, now there's an
But you
interesting
never
one.
know. I'm sure there could have been some movie magic worked. But you know what's funny is just hearing you, Rebecca, when you said you were reading Wizard Magazine, which that's amazing. You don't hear many people about reading that, which is great.
No.
But that makes me think of
Well,
something
my
else.
older sister would buy them, and I would read them.
And that's awesome. But the other thing, just you saying Wizard Magazine makes me think of Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, cartoon, his movie.
it.
And that's what I mean. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like when you were talking about the movie, it's like, what the hell? When I bring this movie up to most people, like, what the hell? What's this movie? And you loving it. How the hell did you even get introduced to that movie? That's a shocker.
I watched it when I was a kid. My parents,
Damn.
well, my dad didn't care. My mom was like, I don't like this. And my dad was like, it's fine.
It was definitely different. It was something you wish you could have a lot of figures. Like, I think I did a Necron
Right?
99 for somebody, but damn, that would be awesome to have figures based off of that damn cartoon.
Yeah, and William Stout did the poster for that.
See, look at this.
Right, he did.
She is a pound of information. This is nuts. How the hell? And the other thing, Ray, I'll let you get your sip first because I'm looking in back you. When did you start doing all the cosplaying and props? Because you made all that shit, including the leprechaun next to you, correct? You made all of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, me and
nuts.
my boyfriend made most of it.
It's still incredible. I seen the video on your Simple Tricks and Nonsense. You showed part of the outfit on there too, correct?
Yeah. Which one? The leprechaun?
Yeah.
Or yeah, we made that joking video of sexy Halloween costumes.
Yeah, because you were showing
like, I'll do sexy leprechaun with the head.
I know, I was like,
it's just mocking all of those stupid Freddy Krueger, sexy
Jason and Michael. Yeah. So how long have you been making it? Because that works incredible. It's like I said, I'm always wowed at your talent.
If you want to get technical, I've been, like I said, I had a Red Sonja costume when I was a little kid, but I didn't make that. My older sister made it. I didn't start getting into costuming until later. Like I said, I was very shy. I've always been a very, very shy person. And it took me a while to like get out of my shell and do what I wanted to do. And I always wanted to be She-Ra, but I'm like, I'm so short, I can't be She-Ra. You know, but I always wanted to make that costume until finally, like, as I got older, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll be She-Ra.
Yeah, you bring up something that, like, I just want to touch on that real quick before you move on there. Like, coming out of your shell and embracing, being a fan, because I can relate to that as well. I don't, Nathan was a little bit more out there with his personality, but the passion for this stuff was definitely kind of under wraps. Joe's, I'm not sure if his was like that, but I know being in school and still being into the stuff, renting tapes and wanting to wear clothing that says, hey, I'm a fan of this, always left me being, feared of being made fun of, or people laugh at you and stuff like that too.
It had a lot to do with it. It's just being a nerd, and it's like, I don't want to be made fun of. I don't, even into my 20s, I was like when I met William Stout, I was like, oh, I'm trying to be a cool artist. I don't want to geek out in front of him. I was like, I didn't think, because in my head, I'm like, oh, it's not cool to be a nerd. Even though by that time it was starting to become cool to be a nerd, I was still just like, there's still this, like,
now, though.
Yeah. But, yeah, it took me a while to come out.
I think I lost you there when I said that.
You're good. Yeah.
I just meant because everyone's so quick to jump onto the nerd bandwagon. Like, it's so cool to be nerdy, when I'm like, you're not really nerds, though. You're just wearing Superman t-shirts.
It almost takes those people that got made fun of back in the day, that they were like, all right, well, I can come out of my shell a little bit more. It almost makes you want to retreat back inward, because everybody else is sort of
it makes me want to shut myself off in the room with my vintage toys and not, like... That's why I don't talk about, like, the new He-Man or anything. I have people who would look at me like I'm crazy for liking Masters of the Universe, like, 10 years ago, because it's not Avengers or Star Wars. They look at you like, isn't that a cheesy show from the 80s? Like,
oh my god.
Now, like, oh, look at the Masters trailer. Look at Kevin Smith. He's a super fan. And I'm just like, it turns me off of it. I'm like, I'm not interested in it, because you're attracting these kind of people that didn't care or love the franchise before. I don't know.
So it's just good to hear.
I guess mission accomplished. That's what they want.
Yeah. But it's good to hear another perspective other than ours, because I'm sure people get tired of hearing us say the same, or me especially. I think Joe and Nathan are a little bit more open-minded in their opinion a little bit. But yeah, it's, not that I don't want other people to become He-Man fans, but I'm very protective of people wanting to come in and claim they're a fan, but they want to trash stuff on the top shelf.
Exactly. The people, I don't mind people posting and getting excited for it, but when I see people who I know called it cheesy and, like, looked at me like I was crazy for liking it, now, like, getting excited for it, I'm like, it's just a new shiny thing.
Yep, bandwagon nerds.
Yes, bandwagon nerds. I don't want it to attract, Karens and Kyles and
Tuckers.
Everybody. Tuckers.
Yeah.
I know she's naming specific names, like, it sounded like, douchebag, fans, Because me and Nathan always think of Tucker from George Carlin's one of his stand-up routines.
Oh,
We
yeah.
named off a bunch of,
And
which
Tucker.
Tyler was on that
Fuck
list of
Tucker
names too. Yeah,
Tucker sucks. Yeah, well, you know,
yeah.
where are all these girly guys' names coming from? Like Tyler and Jaden.
My name was
Tucker.
thrown on that list of wimpy guy names. But if he'd have met me, he'd have like, I'm sorry, dude. Man, I'm cool. I'm cool with Tyler.
Nah, he would have given you shit. He'd been like, look at this big motherfucker. What do you do?
Well, hey, to hear George Carlin call me a big motherfucker, I'm like, thank you, sir. I'll bow down to you, man. You know, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I'm with you on that one too, and it's good to hear that. You know, I want Heyman to succeed, but not for the wrong reasons, and that's what.
Not exactly, not for.
Maybe we're not
like,
conveying that well enough on the podcast, guys, or is it just me?
I don't know. I mean,
Joe's
like,
just laughing at me.
no. I mean, like, what do you want me to say to that? How else
what she just said there, like, that's what worries me. You know, I think when people see me being upset about, you know, this new show coming out or anything else that's being put out, like, I don't want it to fail because, you know, they're bad. I don't want people to. I just want people to have the best because that's all we've been exposed to is the best. Whether you like New Adventures or not, there were some good concepts in there. 2000X had some great concepts. This just worries the shit out of me, and I just don't want people to come in and just think this is all there is to it, or, you know, be so, because everyone's so damn accepting of just taking anything now and not everybody. There's a lot of people.
Whatever's
that say, no,
dangling in front of them, they'll
exactly.
like look at it. Whatever's shiny and new, obsessed over that. It was Star Wars. I don't know how many years ago the
people so
prequels came
obsessed
out.
over Star Wars.
It's already gone out. The casual fans have already that love the sequel trilogy for some reason. Those people, they're already on to something else.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be Black Widow and Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah.
I don't give a shit about either one of those. Especially Shang-Chi.
Well, right now,
God.
Right now, it's the Loki TV show.
Yes.
And then it'll go to that, and then Master Universe next month, and then
Ghostbusters.
Anything coming out?
Ghostbusters will be next. After that.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes out.
I think it's next summer at this point, I think. Which I am still holding out hope for.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good.
Until we get a trailer, it's like, oh my god, this is what they're doing. But
that's the one thing that worries me is where they released that new clip where Paul Rudd's walking by and it's the mini marshmallows
that
sort
I'm
of
like
minions.
I'm like, I don't know what the hell is this.
I think that's what's gonna be like that huge selling point for that when it comes out. It's like, oh hey kids, look at the little mini marshmallows.
This is like Minions,
isn't it cute? Yeah.
Does Disney own that?
No, Sony does.
Sony.
Yeah.
But doesn't Disney own Sony?
No.
Okay. I just assume Disney owns everything.
I think there was attempts to buy Sony that way you can own Spider-Man altogether, but I don't.
Okay.
Please no.
Yeah.
Monopolies are bad. Have we learned nothing about WWE running wrestling in the mud for the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Monopolies are horrible for business.
No, and I don't think, when you were asking about like the passion or how you come across Tyler or me and Nathan, I think most people that watch the podcast and listen to us should understand, well, first, look, we're doing a podcast dedicated to Masters of the Universe, Princess of Power. This is all we talk about. This is like our obsession. It is our passion. If we were somebody that hated Masters of the Universe or Princess of Power, we wouldn't even talk about it. So we're talking about it and getting passionate about it because we love it. And as we always say, we want it treated with the best respect as possible. Mm-hmm. So we give our opinions. And then some people get mad because, just like you said, Rebecca, there's a lot of casual fans.
Yeah, we just want it to be respected. When I watched that new She-Ra, I didn't see any love for She-Ra. They just wanted to turn it into something it's not.
It's true.
Hearing the people, Noelle Stevenson or whatever her name is, talk about it, I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they all ran it through the dirt too, or through the mud. All of them that worked on it, from people. Yeah, the animators, the people that are writing the stories, the voice actors.
And that just fueled my okay, I'm not.
Hey, how are you going to sell the original fans on something when you're shitting all over the original and the fans as well? It's like, oh, you expect us to just come aboard? But yeah, you're right. We're not the people that are here for the flavor of the month. We're here for the long haul. We want all this stuff because we love it. So it's like you said, they come along. Hey, that was pretty good. That tasted good. Okay, it's done. Let me go move on to something else. And that's it. And this is forgotten.
Which I'm not trying to be. Oh, I'm sorry.
You go right ahead, Rebecca.
No, I was going to say we're not trying to be. Well, I'm not, and I'm pretty sure you guys aren't either trying to be gatekeepers at all. We want new people to like it, but we want people to, like Joe said, like it for the long run and not just like this one and then bash the old one. Like everybody who likes the new She-Ra did with the old She-Ra.
Yeah, because people will talk to me or ask me questions about it. I've given out lists to people, like employees that I've worked with, and give them like some of the top episodes from like the filmation of both He-Man and She-Ra of 2000X. If they're interested, I want to make sure you dive in on the highest note possible, and then you can kind of wander about and figure out what your taste is. And a lot of them like go back and say that's some pretty damn good writing, for because they're either younger or didn't watch it as much when it was on. And I mean, getting my nephew into it, I'm like, I've got him hooked pretty. He's coming in again this weekend, so I get to show him some more He-Man cartoons. As long as my brother doesn't put the kibosh on it again. By the way, he got his Ninja and Clamp Champ in the mail yesterday, and we video chatted. He wanted to know who was a bad guy, who was a good guy, and what they did, and then he wanted to see the rest of the vintage line there, like all Skeletor's pals awesome. And stuff like that. Oh God, I wish I had recorded it for my own personal benefit. Just go back and rewatch that over and over again.
No, Tyler, you posted it. You posted it on Facebook so everybody can see.
Yeah, and just take all the credit and all this shit. And I'm like, no, yeah. I don't.
Do you guys think that that's in a way a detriment either? Just seeing that, like, sort of that come to life of, I hate using the term casual fan and stuff like that, but just. Does that bring about is sort of solidifying everyone's mind? All right, well, this is just X, Y, and Z. I don't even really know where I was going with that, but like, just shut up, Joe.
No problem with that. And you know what? I see no problem with that term, casual fan. I hate when people say, "Oh, exactly." It's like there are hardcore fans. There's casual fans. I mean, what's wrong with being a casual fan like me?
But I'm a casual
fan of Turtles. I don't know nothing about it. Just some of it, but not all.
I think there's many layers because. I think people like to toss around the idea that they're a hardcore fan or a big fan. And then, whether it's sports or popular culture, if you say you're a fan of it and you're wearing a shirt that's of your favorite team or Batman or Spider-Man, and I say, oh, man, do you like the Chameleon? Who's that? Oh, man, you like Brainiac? Who's that?
Oh, yeah. I know that.
And then I'm like, I want to tear their shirt off, Or you ask him, they like a certain sport, and you ask them a certain player on that team, like, who's that? Like, oh my God, people! Like
that reminds me of Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I did not mean to cut you off. Now that reminds me of a story when I was walking around with a Death Troopers T-shirt from Rogue One, because that was like one of the only Disney movies that I liked, Star Wars. Yeah, so I had a Death Troopers T-shirt on, and this mom comes over and she's like, "Oh, Star Wars! I love Star Wars and Darth Vader." Like, oh, you do you? Really?
I kind of feel embarrassed when you have conversation with people like that, where you kind of feel like, oh God.
I was not rude. I was like, oh.
Yeah. But after the fact, you have to walk away from that conversation.
This isn't Darth Vader, though.
Holy shit. It's like that one girl, Tyler, I told you about, where I was wearing my Raphael shirt.
Oh, yes.
And she was like, I love the Ninja Turtles. And I was like, oh, yeah? And she was like, yes, Splinter's a really evil villain. I was like, huh? What the fuck?
Even Joe knows better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that huge into Turtles either, and I know who Splinter is.
So I guess it sort of bounces back and forth between the casual fan trying too hard to come across as a hardcore fan and the hardcore fan honest. Trying to withhold and not say anything to make you sound like a gatekeeper, because I know that that's very easy to do, and for other people to kind of be like, oh, you're gatekeeping. It's like, no, man, just like if you're coming at me saying like, oh, I really love it, then you gotta at least tell me something. Like I tell Tyler all the time when he tells me that, I'm like, I've never watched this. I don't. Well, there was a point in time where I would kind of pretend that I felt like I knew a little something about shit, but no, I no.
Oh, I mean, like there was a certain degree. I'm like, if I say this to Nathan, he's not going to get like who Lizard Man is, or he's not going to get who Goat Man is. Like, I get that. Like, I do now. He does now, yeah.
I do now.
And with Joe, like, I can kind of tell when Joe doesn't know what I'm talking about because he just kind of sits there and kind of gives
he's been doing.
Yeah, a grunt or a whistle because he doesn't know how to communicate something he doesn't, You know, but I'll just, and he cocks his head like he does, like Michael Myers does, you know, like he's doing right now. And, but it's okay. Like, you know, I can't say I'm a hardcore fan of everything, but I like to think, you know, if we talk Transformers, we talk Turtles, we talk G.I. Joe, Superman, whatever I feel like you can hold your own, but then like, okay, I don't know that because I didn't read that far or watch that much or something like that. But, I have a problem with people pretending to be genuine fans, and when you're advertising you like it. If someone was wearing the Triclops He-Man shirt, well, first off, there's no way you would find it unless you weren't watching this podcast for the most part.
Sure.
So and to buy that kind of artwork, I wouldn't settle for anything less than a hardcore fan wearing that. You know, someone who wears, you know, people who love horror movies, like you see them all the time. Like me and Nathan would run into some at conventions. And some guy was Gunnar. I think it was. Oh no, it was Nick Castle. Nick Castle was there, and we just overheard the guy say, "Oh yeah, I got Michael Myers to give me his autograph." Like, it's Nick Castle, you jerk off, and just for him to kind of come off and say it as if like he didn't know who the guy was. He was just like, "Oh, you played Michael Myers. You don't even know."
Gunnar Hansen, sign my chainsaw.
Yeah,
God damn it. Yeah, horror conventions I think are the worst overall.
Most conventions are.
Oh, yeah, you'll have to elaborate on that with us.
Yeah, because you have attended way more of. Tyler and I have been more to the horror genre conventions.
Yeah, comic book related. You know,
those were really bad to me, just because you would see a lot of people wearing shit that I'm just like, all right, well, I bet if I went and asked them what their favorite Friday the 13th movie was, I'm probably going to get hit with the remake or Freddy vs. Jason or
something Joe would say.
No, that's why I went to Hot Topic and I was looking for some Friday the 13th shirts and I had one on already.
You were looking to pick up chicks.
And one of the girls behind the counter, she's like, I love Friday the 13th. So I was like, oh, no kidding. Which one was your favorite? She was like, oh, the one that came out, in 2009. I was like, all right, what about some of the other ones, from the 80s? So they're like, I've never seen any of those. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So you've seen one movie.
Then Joe just...
Oh, but she loves it.
Yeah, but she loves Friday the 13th and watched one fucking movie.
You can't just say, oh, I like that one movie.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
It's almost compulsion to like pretty much call people out the minute they say they're a fan. Like, oh, so if they're a fan of a certain artist or whatever, it's comic books. I almost feel like you can kind of tell, they haven't read a single damn thing. Like, and especially as popular as superheroes are right now, I think we can all agree most people who love the movies don't read comic books, for the most part. But what is it you run into a lot at the conventions you've been to in terms of you run into a lot of people with bad BO and sweat problems and
How many Harley Quinns? How many Harley Quinns? Lots of Harley Quinn,
right? Deadpool.
Oh,
those are the number one costumes. And the thing is, the kind of some of the time there are actual cool people that do cosplay those, but there is a certain type of person who cosplays those as well, and there are the what I refer to as the Kyles and the what is it we call them? I call them the bro nerds, where they're nerds.
What about
that watch movies?
The influencers, the influencer girls that just show up there to dress up. They don't know shit about it, but someone's like, "We're putting you in this costume. We're gonna go take pictures."
They're there.
That shit's annoying too, because I remember seeing those girls a lot. Remember, Tyler, that one girl that was standing over there near those steps, and there's that guy taking pictures, and she's all doing all these poses. I'm like, holy shit.
It's an insult to all the things we're into when you see some people there that want to devote their Saturday and Sunday to dress up as a character they know nothing about, in hopes that people want to stop and take pictures with them and interview them. And I'm like, why are you here?
One story I have about that is that I love the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV show, and
I used to love watching that on reruns on FX back in the day.
But there was a girl dressed up like Wonder Woman, and she wasn't in the Linda Carter outfit, but she had the cape because somebody sells the cape on Etsy, and I was like, oh, I love the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. And she's like, she looks at me like, who's Linda Carter? I'm like, never mind.
But she used to do Lin's
Never
Express
mind.
commercials back in the 90s. Don't you remember that? Huh?
Thank you, fuck you, bye.
God, it's so irritating.
Keep on trucking.
She did
Man,
do all the
do you
lipstick
ever call them out?
No.
Do you
No,
ever call them
I'm
out?
usually
No.
nice about it.
You don't take
I
your
give them a
your
look,
power
though. I
sword
give
and
them a-
threaten to hack their head off. You know?
Oh, my power sword. I
Look
would.
at, look at it. She's got it right there.
Look at that.
God, that's
It's a little
having beauty.
busted. It's a little busted. My cat knocked it off. I gotta repair it.
And you made that, huh?
Mhm.
God
It's
damn.
How much money did
PVC.
it take to make that?
How long it took? It didn't
Or
take that long.
how much money to put into that?
I'm not sure, because I have like the materials laying around. This is all PVC plastic mostly. These parts were the little balls that come in your deodorant.
Yeah.
So
How cool
I like
is
put
that?
them on and then sculpted
They work great.
epoxy sculpt.
It's
Kinda
very
did it.
symmetrical. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't look sloppy or crooked. God damn. I'm waiting for Grimbot in the chat room to comment on that sword, because if it's not accurate to filmation,
And you can just.
It's a little big.
And we'll tell him to fuck
It's a little
off.
big for
We
me.
will tell
Yeah.
him to
Like,
fuck
I
right
make
off.
stuff. I don't realize how small I am until I'm like holding it, and I'm like, oh, that's a little big for me. So
It looks brilliant.
I kind of want to make
absolutely
one a
love
little
it.
more slender, like Shear's was.
That's
Now
what I love about your
I gotta have a
I'll
He-Man
make
power
you-
sword in it.
you-
Oh God,
I'll
I'd
make
love to
you-
have that.
I want to
Oh
make
my
you a
God.
He-Man costume.
Oh
Send it
wow.
to you. That would
Oh,
be
great!
awesome.
Now,
Here we
No,
go.
I'm
We don't
gonna-
need that on the fucking show.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
we can,
and
hey,
then-
so now we can have
Ugh.
He-Man and She. Hey, we're actually reenacting Secret of the Sword here on this podcast. Here, you know, we're having
Oh,
He-Man and She
God.
meet, and that's what we're doing
oh
here.
God, you make
You
him
know?
a costume, and then I'm gonna be like that poor bastard taking photographs of that influencer girl, like in behind the Hardys or something.
Yeah.
Holy
Hey,
shit.
come on, we know it's gonna be McDonald's, man. McDonald's is more popular than Hardee's.
Yeah. Now that would be funny if you did that. I don't think Tyler would wear the. I don't think he'd wear the loincloth like outside. I don't think he'd.
I'm very, very introverted in that regard. Like you know, people may not think.
I'll wear it. I'll wear it. Make for me. I'll wear
I
it.
would gladly like try. Like, wow, this actually works, man. I should be on a William Stout movie poster, you know, with this thing, you know.
Jesus Christ.
So you can talk to William. We can put me and you on a like, you know, joint Secret of the Sword like live
my
action
next
movie
costume.
poster.
I want to bring his Sheer to life. It's gonna be one of my next costumes.
Oh,
That
that'd
would be interesting to
wonderful.
see.
Mhm.
That would be, because you do a lot of original stuff. That's what I mean. You talk about all the stuff, and when you go to these conventions,
Mhm.
you definitely wear a lot of unique and create outfits that probably most people don't see. Like, what's one of
literally-
your?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna
Finish
say,
your
what
thought.
is probably your most unique outfit that you made that really got you tons of attention? I mean, I'm assuming all of them did, but
The Metropolis. robot.
yeah,
Mhm.
that
People
was
would
cool
ask-
to see that.
Because I'm so small, people would ask if there was a person in there. Because it's small in purposes, and people can't
Because
believe like
I
there's a
just
person in there.
from looking, it looks like it's. I didn't know if that was a costume. I thought it was just like a really cool like prop statue that you put together in the back. So
No,
you
it's an
actually
actual
fit
costume.
into that.
Mhm.
And you walk like her
Yeah.
and everything, and
Yeah.
It's cool as
And I see
shit.
through like tiny little holes. I have
Oh,
to have
I-
a handler because I cannot move. So if my
how often you
boyfriend
stop and
was
take
there,
pictures? You take a
with
picture
that,
while that thing?
certain costumes like that, you can't. You pretty much find a spot, and you're pretty much there the whole night because people will like. That becomes like your spot, and people just come and pose with you. Unintentionally, you try and move, and you're not going to go anywhere because you'll just get stopped again. And then
Did your Corpse Bride, did that get a lot of attention? Because that was another one that
Yeah.
just something how you even painted around your eyes to get that kind of like sad kind of look and expression. It's like
yeah,
I
that
just
got
I
a
don't know
lot
how
of
you did
attention,
that.
but that's kind of a common costume, so.
I don't think probably as good as yours though. Whoever was doing theirs, I don't think it's probably as good. But it's like damn, like now the Leprechaun one that's right there behind you, and
That one-
you did like you
That
said.
one gets a lot of
but-
attention because nobody's done that costume.
it's
That's
like-
me taking
it's
advantage
like,
of my height.
you're gonna wear that at another horror convention, or if you ever meet Warwick Davis, that's
I
when you gotta
will.
have that.
Totally.
That would be cool as
Totally.
shit.
He'd flip
Go
out
ahead.
probably to see that because it's an impressive costume as well. But to see that kind of love and attention put into that character that I know he's very proud of, like I think he'd probably just tell her, all right, everyone's gonna just have to wait because I'm spending a lot of time with this young lady here, you know.
Oh, I'd love to meet him. I went to Star Wars Celebration and he was there, but he wasn't like meeting people, so I wasn't able to meet him. I thought he was, and I was disappointed that he wasn't because I was like,
You should have jumped in on that
Babies and-
video chat that I did with him. You're like, you could have gotten your own. You know,
That was
he
awesome.
was. Oh,
You're
thank you.
interviewing like all the cool people. Mark Singer and like, oh, I love the Beastmaster.
Well, I am
watched
paying
that
to do it. I
movie.
wish I could say it was for free. I can't really say actually interview him, but I am glad you appreciate it, though.
I watched that movie so much.
Condolences to your wife, by the way, Tyler.
Oh yeah.
What?
Well, when Mark Singer thought my wife died, it reminded me of
Why?
Beastmaster. Like, no, my dog.
Yeah. He.
You know, and when Nathan heard that, that's the first thing he said. Not, oh, it's awesome. It was like, you're married.
No, it's so funny.
Because
Because you were just
funny.
like, what? No, my dog. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant your wife. That's so good.
And I went back and went, well, there's nothing that sounded like my wife in there. You know, I've never been married or anything like that. Oh, well, I guess hey, it's a memorable moment with the Beastmaster, you know, so who can forget that? But
Beastmaster thought my wife was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. So whenever there's another one, I'm willing to fork over the cash for that. I'll do some more. Hopefully,
I kind of feel like it's going to shift from that stuff to more of the
more in-person
doing
stuff.
in-person stuff again.
Yeah.
Which now that we'll see how the COVID thing goes. Now that we're putting that behind us, are you excited to get back out there? Are you a little nervous to get back around all the people?
Yeah, my first con is going to be PowerCon, and this is my first time going to PowerCon.
Wow.
That's why I want to make William Stout cheer for that. I wish he was going. I'm going to try and talk him into going so that I could pose with him in it, but I'll meet him at DragonCon next year.
Oh, we'll see. You can wear the costume then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we got to see how many people actually recognize that. Oh, sorry, Tyler.
I feel like PowerCon's going to be the only place people recognize that. If I go to any other con, people
you would think. And that's the thing. You would think most do, but I'm wondering. You definitely got to get a video of that because I want to see how many people are confused or wondering, like, who is that? Who are you supposed to be again? Is that the sorceress?
Oh, they'll take a bunch of pictures because it's going to be a girl in a skimpy costume, but they won't know what it is.
Yeah.
I can't.
Which I mean, I guess like yeah. I feel like that's why a good percentage of people go to those things. Just to see the girls and the costumes.
And I only cosplay things that I really love. Like when I did Marta, the Orion slave girl from Yvonne Craig's character from Star Trek. Nobody knew who I was, but still people were like taking pictures and they're like, "Oh, can I get your picture?" And I'm like, "Oh, who are you?" And I'm like, "Why did you want my picture?"
Motherfucker, you're at this convention.
No, it's a girl in a skimpy costume, that's why I want it. I'm like, that's not why I'm wearing it though. I'm wearing it because I like this character.
Do people actually, now that's the thing, because like I said, never been to a real convention. We had one here where I live where it's just, it's a crap one. But are there people that actually, cosplayers get invited there? Do you make money doing this? Or
yeah.
No.
It goes back to the influencer thing, though, that they do have a few that show up that they advertise as being there, but it's annoying. Sorry.
No,
Rebekah,
just go.
No, okay. All right. Yeah, I always wondered. It's just I don't know, because there was God, I can't remember her name. There was one person I remember cosplaying as She-Ra at one of those conventions. I remember it annoyed the hell out of me because she was supposed to be such a super fan, and when she described, the castle, the Crystal Castle, I think she called it She-Ra's dollhouse. I love She-Ra's dollhouse when I grew up. I'm like, She-Ra's dollhouse, huh? But you're a big She-Ra fan. Damn, I wish I could remember who that was. That pissed me off. Yeah, dollhouse. It was She-Ra's dollhouse. Like, oh, that's great. And He-Man's cabin that he goes into that's green with the eyes. What the fuck, these people?
That's He-Man's man cave.
Yeah, there you go. The real man cave of power. It's where he first transformed. Remember, everybody? So, shit. Oh, gosh.
We should take Joe to a convention and just buy him food the whole time and just have him be the guy to walk up to people and be like, "Hey, I see you're wearing that," and like test their fandom and let him get really pissed at everybody.
I guess I'm vocal. I know I cover my face up to where nobody sees me, but as you can tell, I'm pretty outgoing and energetic, and in person, I always speak my mind. Not to be an asshole, but I just getting passionate. So yeah, I've never been like
excited that you see somebody that you think might be interested in what you're interested in. Right. And it turns out they're not.
Oh, and that's what sucks is when you see it, like, God damn, oh, that's cool, and look what they're wearing, or even if they have, like how you all were saying earlier, a shirt of something, like, oh man.
Before when it was considered not cool to be a nerd and you would see somebody else in a Star Wars t-shirt, it was almost like a secret handshake. It was like, oh, this person likes that. that small club that we're a part of too. It's like, oh yeah, but now it's like, you know,
Isn't that weird how
mom's
things
wearing-
They're
change?
pretty easy to weed out, though. Like you said, it's a
You can
secret
tell.
handshake if you wear something that's a little bit more obscure,
Yes.
based on superheroes or
That's
Star
why-
Wars, and someone recognizes it and says something about it, like, okay, you're cool. Like, I don't.
It would be like with your tank top. If someone was like, "Holy shit, look, it's glove," even though it says glove right there.
Yeah.
But if they pointed it out and they're like, "Holy shit," then you would know because nobody knows about Bionic 6.
No, I feel like I'm one of the only Bionic 6. You know, I mean, I know there's designs on TeePublic and Redbubble and stuff like that.
Link
but
down below. Buy the shirt.
yeah,
Support
get your
Joe.
official glove tank top. Hopefully, we get Joe to make some more of Scarab's crew in the Bionic 6 as well. But I don't know. I probably would freak them out because I often feel like that too. If people like realize I like He-Man, because like guys at the gym will like make reference to it. I can't like just put the brakes on. I'm so quick to just like go down the rabbit hole, and they look at me like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" Like this guy's like talking about, and I was talking a foreign language to a lot of them. I mean, it goes with Turtles, GI Joe, comic books. It's just like I don't know a mild setting to sit there because I hate pretending like I don't know that much to spare them the, the indignity of like they don't know that much. They just like the shirt. They bought it at Walmart or Hot Topic or something like
Is
that.
that a bigger bummer for you?
What?
Getting that excited and then sort
being
of
let down.
Being let down, but also sort of being upset with yourself that once again you're like, oh wait, I thought I knew. Ah shit, that's another, just another poser.
I mean, for the most part now, it's kind of gotten to where like, I will not engage in-depth conversation unless I know they would really like to talk. Like I remember a couple of years ago, I passed a guy that goes to my gym wearing a He-Man shirt, and it was just like standard artwork that was available at that time. I think that Mattel had put out. I was like, "Hey, cool man, you're wearing a He-Man shirt," and I said, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "He's probably just thought it looked cool." I just kind of tell, like it was just something that he thought was cool. And I'm like, I'm not going to say, by the way, Lizard Man, you ever seen, or this episode, or Skytree? Like, no, then he'd probably be running and jumping to the nearest manhole if he could. But, if people want to start kind of talking a little bit about it, then I'm like, okay, all right, you've opened up this rabbit hole and we're going in. So don't pretend or just stare at me funny when you're like, or give me a signal when I've gone too far or something like that. It's just, I pick and choose now when I'm like willing to, dive deep into whatever mythology that we happen to be talking about. Because there's people I work with, I'm comfortable digging deep into it. With Star Wars, I will argue with everybody about it if they're willing to talk about it. Because most people, if they're going to talk Star Wars, they're willing to argue about it. He-Man's kind of hard to find to argue people about He-Man because there aren't really a whole lot of He-Man fans in person that I run into. It's pretty much just,
Well, give it another month.
Yeah, right.
You'll have quite a few more.
Yeah,
quite a few more, Tyler.
I'm sure they'll be running around in droves with a standard T-shirt that they bought at Spencer's Gifts or FYE store or something.
I kind of wonder if FYE, Hot Topic, and Spencer's is going to start to push out all that merchandise now
they
the
will.
show's coming out.
Yeah, it'll be.
Well, remember they
I've
already
already
got the
seen it.
food merchant. Yeah, because they got the candy bars and hot sauce to FYE. They got
but that's like stupid shit.
It's
that,
just
like,
junk.
nobody's gonna buy.
I thought the cereal
the
was.
casual fans buy it.
Yeah, and they do. And I thought it was like just a joke when they showed that cereal and it came with the world's smallest battle cat. But I was like, I just don't get the cereal itself. Looking at it, I'm thinking, but what are these balls about? What's that have to do with He-Man? You figure you're going to have some power swords, something that reflects the show. It's like, no, we're going to put balls in there. I mean,
because the show's supposed to have balls, Joe, as Tyler likes to say.
Yeah,
it's got to have balls.
Now, you going to give the show a chance, Rebekah, or are you not going to watch it, or will you watch?
I'm going to give it a chance.
Do you have any kind of expectations of thinking, hopefully it's good, or are you figuring, whatever? I mean, I'd love for it to be good.
I haven't dismissed it, but I have no hope for it.
Yeah.
I was so burned by She-Ra that I'm just like...
Well, from what you've seen so far, though, like everything that they've announced, which isn't...
The trailer looked cool. I hated the song, but the trailer looked cool.
Yeah.
The action, the animation, I like about 80% of the characters' designs. And it looks good. The trailer looked good, but a trailer can look good, and the show can be
Yeah, I can think of a
just like
dozen
the
movies off the top of my head that had great trailers but piece of shit films.
Yeah, I just
Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yep, there's
God,
one.
that burned me so bad. That burned me so fucking bad. I'm like, hey, they might actually pull this off. No.
No. We actually broke the cardinal sin. We were playing on our phones, or at least I was during that movie. I've never done that
I
before,
started to as well.
or since.
Yeah. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, God.
But,
The
that one
CG
still stinks.
The one thing I'm curious about, because I didn't know if it's something that even interests you, but the CG/cartoon effects for Revelation. You know, like they've done that with MYP, but that actually wasn't too bad. What were your thoughts of that during the trailer? Like when you seen Land Shark?
It didn't bother me too much. No.
Not at all. Like Land Shark is the one that killed me. It looked like a toy sitting there. That's the one thing I hated. Bashosaurus,
I thought it doesn't look good. Like in the beginning where you see like the castle and the drawbridge coming down, and you're like,
yeah, that was probably
weird.
the worst shot of the trailer.
That looks like a
Gray Skull.
Yeah.
It was very 90s.
Yeah, but the trailer did.
90s
yeah, it
animation.
felt very like when they were first starting to do CGI
and stuff. Yeah,
like,
that's what's my
you
thought.
can tell that's old and rough, but no, it's new.
Right, Gray Skull shouldn't have been that bad. Land Shark shouldn't have been that bad. Bashosaurus was a pass. I mean, you know, I guess it's kind of okay, but like you said, beyond that, the animation art does look good, and I guess there's hoping that it could be interesting. I'm hoping, so I'll cross my fingers on it. But I was gonna say for the chat room, well, we're gonna see if they're gonna have any questions for you, because I think there was some earlier. But guys, if you want, put any questions in the chat room you have for Rebekah, she'll answer them. And Tyler, if you have something you want to shoot at her before we get to the chat, go ahead.
Oh, hell, if I do that, then we won't get around to the chat. I mean, I could.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
We can pick our brain more about Red Sonja, about the Beastmaster. All right, here's one. What's your take on Conan the Destroyer, which tends to be the one that's dismissed by most people?
It's definitely doesn't quite live up to the first one. The first one's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. It's like
me too.
It's literally the best of its genre. I like it though. I think it's fun. I love Grace
I do
Jones.
too. Oh man, it's her character. Go ahead.
I just found out that her and Dolph were like a couple in the night.
Oh, you just found that out?
And I'm like, so He-Man dated Huntara? Like, that's awesome.
It is awesome, and just how all the wild stuff she got involved in, stuff like that too, and it's pretty fascinating to hear about their brief tent together. But I love that character, and going back and learning from the comics that Zula was a man, but when they wrote the script too, like just think of Grace Jones, and sure enough, by God, they got Grace Jones to play the character. So I thought she was a wonderful addition. I wish we could have seen more of that. I mean, obviously, I like the Zula that's in the comic books, but I just thought that version of the character, like I would have loved to have seen that become part of like the Conan mythology. Like from here on out, when you think Conan, you think you could do both male, female Zulas, but she was a wonderful addition in the film.
She was so good. She's so believable
awesome.
As like a warrior.
Oh God, it's like she didn't have to do any acting.
Exactly.
She was awesome.
Well, Nathan, since
Joe had no idea if I was still going there.
You're right. Yeah, son of a bitch.
We need to have.
Damn it.
We got the sword on here. We should have like a filmation transition. Like when I'm done talking, we're gonna transition to this. She swings the sword around and clang.
Yeah, but see, like Joe would have to hear it. Otherwise, he would be like, "Well, I'm waiting for Tyler to stop. I'm on this 30-second delay," because he would be watching it on the screen as we're going along. I mean, do you want me to turn heel on Joe's favorite establishment real quick? Because I hate Dollar Tree now.
That's
why.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
I placed the order for a case of those minifigures that have been showing up at various Dollar Trees across the country, and I got an email, which I will read right now. So I ordered these originally, I want to say on the 15th or 16th of this month, and I got an email on the 21st that says, "We regret to inform you that part or all of your order has been canceled. Please see the items listed below for the cancellation reason." So you go down here, and it says, "We were not able to fulfill the entire quantity ordered based on the distribution center that services your area. The quantity listed above has been canceled from your order." So essentially, the warehouse that supplies this area, I don't know why that works that way, doesn't have any. So therefore, I get none. So thank you, all the scalpers that went on Dollar Tree's website and bought all the fucking cases, so none of the stores can get any.
He just turned heel
And I
on
can't even
Dollar Tree.
order a case anymore.
This is
What are you gonna do
horseshit.
about it, there, Joe? You got no promo that's
So-
gonna combat that.
So Dollar Tree sucks. It's just a bunch of smelly people in there looking for deals.
You call
a
me
bunch
smelly?
of cheap, junky shit
It's not
that
cheap.
breaks over and over and over again.
That is
like,
high quality. You can get packs of socks there, 2 and 3 packs for $1. Where else can you get?
I'm
you
sure
know,
all
Yeah,
your
how
socks
long
like
do
toes
those
in them.
last? Yeah,
No.
they last what, like a
I'm
one
sure like
wash
Joe's
and
big toes
disintegrate?
sticking out of every pair of socks that he has that he bought from Dollar
Yeah,
Tree.
probably.
Oh my God, you get,
Or
but
it's
you get
covered in blood,
T-shirts
one
there?
or the other.
Food, lots of stuff. So I'm sorry to hear that bad experience there, Nathan, for the Dollar
It's
Tree. I
bullshit.
didn't like you turning
But
heel on
that's why no one's getting any at the stores. If you guys are going to multiple Dollar Trees around you and you haven't seen any, that's probably why. Everybody went and bought cases. Therefore, they never
That
really
does
made it
kinda
up
suck,
to any
though.
other distribution
I seen,
center.
yeah, there were people that were buying lots of those cases, and then you're right. I don't know if that had anything to do with why they're not showing up, because believe it or not, none of the 4 stores in my area have gotten those minifigures either. So
And it sucks because we wanted to plan that fun thing where Joe was gonna have that decoder message that we'd flash on the screen. We were gonna do something fun, and we can't do that.
Well, I guess
'cause
you have to
people
give
are
away
fucking
a
pricks.
Power and Honor Foundation book now.
Oh
Joe's
yeah,
gonna have
hey,
to-
speaking of which, hell froze over. Cats and dogs getting together. Pigs can fly. Holy, look at this, Joe. Holy shit.
I told you,
I can't believe it.
I'm a man
I
of my
can't believe
word.
it.
I'm not a liar. I said I was going to send it. I sent it to you, and I sent T-Rex some stuff too. He was expecting one thing, but I sent him 3 cool things. So
He did. He certainly sent me, which people get tired of me bashing Mattel because they can't get their act together. Well, if they just stick to something they're good at, which only seems to be Hot Wheels at this point, I gladly buy an entire lineup of Hot Wheels style He-Man vehicles and beasts, like if they did Strider or Night Stalker in these things.
Yeah.
They are beautifully detailed. They look like the original one. There's no liberties taken here. There's nothing that says Scott and I, like a Rob David, like worked on this line. You know, where the Wind Raider's really named Gary or some shit like that. You know, they are great. And if I see more, I'll definitely buy some for my nephew. If they plan to do more vehicles, I definitely would buy them. You know, the Spider or Frightfire, like Joe was talking to me in private. God, I'd love to have those in this form.
yeah, I
Very
pissed
nice,
myself
very
to see it.
beautiful.
Well, I'm glad they arrived.
Joe was gonna
Yes,
mail
they
some
did.
to me, but I was like, no, man, just the book.
Yeah,
Please,
exactly.
just the book.
Just pissed off to Nathan. But
It's
Rebecca,
like, don't insult me, man. If you're not going to send the book, you sure as hell ain't going to send any Hot Wheels to me. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's nothing. But we have questions for Rebecca first. Pride of Grayskull. Rebecca, how long did it take you to build the Maria suit? Is that what it says? I can't tell if it's.
Oh yeah, the robot Maria. That's the Metropolis.
Okay.
Took about 3 months.
That
About
looked
3
like it's so. Yeah, and yeah, because
It's dedication.
Yeah, because you had to fit it to every like you said part
Plus
of how
vacuum
you move.
forming and
That's nuts. That is nuts. And that stuff. Do you ever like sell stuff like that? You know, get requests, from people to make and sell them. I'm
here
assuming.
and there, here and there. My thing is, once we start doing that, it's like if you spend all day making stuff for other people, you don't want to make it for yourself. If that makes sense.
It does
You
make
get
that.
tired out
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, I know what you mean. No, I do know what you mean. But I'm sure still one-off once in a while. I'm sure you can make some
Yeah.
good-ass money. So, but if you ever, like I said, are wanting to do something like that and you want some promoting and pimping, we'll do it here on the podcast. I'll do it on all my forms of, social media. You know me. I'm a lunatic with the shit. But, all right. Adam Gabbert said...
It just doesn't promote our show.
Pissed off I do. I just forgot that one time. Damn it. Leave me alone. I got a bad memory.
No, I can speak. There's been more than one time Joe has not promoted this podcast.
Well, that's just my brain just doesn't function.
No, it's more like Joe's got to put himself over, and like we don't want anyone else to get the glory and the feedback here.
Yeah,
Look out for-
Joe's holding us down like Triple H in the mid 2000s.
He's trying to bury us all. We got to rise up and just not play politics, and we'll get over with the crowd. And he can't do nothing about it. We'll be like CM Punk.
Yeah,
Whether or not we got a fat ass or not.
Tyler and I are never gonna break through the grass ceiling.
Yeah. That was a bot promo that Mick Foley did with Edge.
Okay. Adam
Because I know
Gabbert,
Joe didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember half the shit. Adam Gabbert said, Rebecca, as a Masters of the Universe fan, what are some of the things that you collect?
Other stuff that you collect other than Masters of the Universe.
Besides Masters of the Universe, well, I really love the Golden Girls line. Golden Girl.
Yeah.
Be
Not Golden
specific.
Girls,
It's
not that stupid
I was gonna-
TV show. Golden Girl.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes
Yeah,
collecting
because
the
how
NECA
many-
series. It went for a long time there.
Get you. And I don't know how many people, when I bring up Golden Girls, think of the damn show. It's like, no, not that Golden Girls. That's why I was like,
I
yeah.
know,
be
every
specific.
time. I hate
Do you have
that
almost the whole
show.
collection of that?
Almost. I'm missing a horse, the castle, which somebody just outbid me on eBay,
Fuckers.
and one of the 2 male figures because they're really hard to find. They did not make those, so I'm almost complete with my collection of that.
And that line had the brilliant idea too of they had different like outfits per character, right? It wasn't just
Yeah, they were
re-releasing
fashion
different. Yeah, so I think that would be. Honestly, I kind of wish they would do that instead of just pumping out more variants. Just come out with like little packs where you could like
Yeah,
change out the plastic on them or something if you wanted to, and just interchange it that way, so the kid's not having 80 of the same figure essentially.
hmm I think there was only
Someone needs to get on that.
11 figures, 2 horses, and a castle for that line. So it's not a big line, and right now it's not too expensive to collect. So
Is there
But
But now that we
But now-
talked about
now
it
it
on the
will
show,
be.
it will be.
now it will be.
Now it will be.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that a castle or a dollhouse? I just want you to be specific on that.
It's a
Sure
castle.
want a
It's
doll?
awesome.
Oh,
And I'm
yes.
mad somebody just outbid me,
let-
like just today. I keep trying to get it. It's so rare. But you'll probably see it
gonna-
up there. It's from the UK.
I'm gonna.
Nathan will find it. He'll make a bet on.
Yeah,
He'll
no.
win it in
Yeah.
box.
No. I was just gonna put up a picture here so people can get an idea of what it looks like. I just want to find one that's of decent size. You also messaged me a couple of pictures from other ones like Galaxy
Oh, yeah.
Adventure Girl, Goddess of the Ultra Cosmos,
had-
and Galaxy Girl,
Mhm.
and these were basically just like
Knockoffs.
essentially knockoffs.
But-
Do you
Yeah.
have some of the Galaxy Girls? You actually have some of those
I
too?
don't. I don't. Those are way too expensive.
Oh.
The more obscure
Yeah, I
and
looked those
weird
up
they
too.
are and rare, like, they're expensive. I'm talking like over $100 for one figure, and I'm like, I can't.
Yikes.
I can't. I'd rather just,
There's the castle, Joe.
it's awesome.
Palace of Gems.
It's cooler than I think the Crystal Castle. I'll get some hate from She-Ra fans, but I actually like the Golden Girl toy line better than the She-Ra toy line. Not better than She-Ra, but better than the She-Ra toy line. The Princess.
Could
Cosplay.
you like elaborate on that then? Because that's because I know of the Golden Girls line not until I got a little bit older, but I don't know much about it. I don't know if there's a mythology behind it or.
It's very
Or-
brief. It's not nearly as deep as Masters, but
Just 1 year, right? Wasn't that it? Just 1
yeah,
year?
a nice
it
play
was 1
set.
year. And it was actually before She-Ra. It came out in '84.
Yeah, when I learned about it, I saw that it came out before She-Ra did, which I thought, oh wow, that was interesting.
But She-Ra was also in. I think she was in production at the same time. They were both like. So I don't know which one came first, but Golden Girls came out first. I keep calling it Golden Girls. It's Golden Girl. But
And that's
Thank you
where
for
the
being a
confusion-
friend.
That's right. That's where
Which
the
is a good
confusion
show.
I
But
hate
down the
that
road and back
show.
again.
I hate that
Your
show.
heart is true. You're a friend and a confidant.
Everybody loves it just to be ironic, and it's not cool. Oh, when I think of that show, I just think of like my mom watching it and bored and just wanting to turn on something else.
I used to watch
When
it
I
with my
think of
mom
that
all day.
show, I think of torture.
I think it's a
It is
brilliant,
a good show.
funny
I actually
show.
got back
but
into it. Erica watched it all the time. I actually like,
Mhm.
wow, this actually is a lot better than I
It's
remember. Yeah.
funny. It's
I'm
witty.
sure it is.
And they got away
But I
with a
just
lot
remember
of
being
shit
a
back
kid
then
and just
too.
wishing it was over.
I understand that. It'd be like me when I would sit and, when my mom would put Days of Our Lives on
gosh.
during the summertime and I was at home. I'm like,
No.
no,
But the
'cause
guy
we only
with
had
the
the
guy
one
with
TV
the
in the
eye
house.
patch
I'm
would
like,
show up,
no.
and then I'm like, I'm into this.
Yeah,
You know?
Bo.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this
Bo.
guy's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, or any of the hot girls on the show. Like, other than this, like, you know, it's like then you had to watch Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, Another World, Santa Barbara. That was the life I was forced to watch in my babysitter's house.
But at least we got prices right,
Oh,
man.
give me
At least
Plinko
we
and
had
Punch
that.
Out and Putt Putt and the yodeling gimmick game. Are you a friend of Price is Right, or at least old school Price is Right?
Never watched it.
Oh my God!
What? All right,
At
here's
least
what
I'm
you do.
honest. I've never watched it.
Yes, yeah,
Do
we can't. fault
Do
you
you
for
have
that.
a Roku or anything in your home?
Yes, we do.
All right, download Pluto TV.
I got that. I
It's
watched
free.
that. I watched Three's
Okay.
Company. So
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a great
Oh,
show.
there you
There
go.
you go.
Just scroll down, find Price is Right, and just watch a little bit of that. It's brilliant.
I know
Or at
of
least
it, of course, but I didn't.
Oh, well,
never
then
watched
at
it.
least just do us
You gotta watch
the favor of watching a Plinko session on YouTube. Just like Price is Right, Plinko, no Drew Carey bullshit. Bob Barker, just to get your viewpoint on the greatest games ever been created. I mean, I'd do anything to be able to play an actual version of Plinko and just that. Oh my god, it's phenomenal. It'll change your life. I'm telling you.
I've started watching Bionic 6.
Oh,
There we go.
All right,
It's
right.
awesome. I'm only on episode 5, but I'm hooked on it.
Yeah.
My boyfriend loved it
God.
when he was a kid, so he's enjoying watching it with
So
me.
he was familiar with
See?
it then.
Mm-hmm.
Now you both got to order gloves. Both
hey,
you got to get gloves.
Yeah.
Joe, did you Joe, by chance, did you happen to watch any Bionic 6 or G.I. Joe or anything?
All right, we have a question from Fedmon.
That's what I thought.
Come on.
That's what I
I
thought.
forgot, damn it.
Nathan
I'll
watched
watch
it. Nathan watched
promise
it. I watched it.
I
You
swear I'll
weren't
watch
even
it this
asked
week.
to.
And Joe,
You guys,
you're at home. You have no excuse.
I even sent you a link. I sent you the
well,
link.
what happened was my computer went out that day, and I just forgot.
My dog.
Oh,
my
yeah.
dog hit my computer, and I just.
Yeah, I
All
will
right.
watch. I promise this week.
All right. Well,
Fedmon,
now she said that, I at least have to get her like what's your take on both factions, the heroes and the villains?
They're awesome. My favorite villain so far. I'm only on episode 5. I like Lady O. She's
Madame
cool.
O.
Madame O. I'm sorry. I'm a casual fan. Right.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey,
Madame O.
you're willing to watch it.
And
I
I
don't wanna
bringing
scare
it full
people off.
circle
And
here.
I
Watch
really
the
like
show.
IQ. IQ is my favorite of the
Oh
guys
yeah,
so
IQ
far.
is cool too. Yeah, that's so cool. So, are we looking? You might get the figures or something like that.
It depends on how much they are.
They're reasonable.
How
They're
much?
reasonable.
Are they reasonable?
They're not too
Yeah,
bad.
I'm thinking
if
of
you want them-
Silverhawks, and I'm like, I'll never.
Oh
have those
well, I
figures.
mean, if you want them complete, then you're going to pay Silverhawk prices. But if you just
Mhm.
want them as is, because they don't use the gloves, the only guy that uses a weapon in the show, so he's the only one. I'm like, I got to make sure he's complete. Everybody else, does not matter.
Mhm.
But if you want them as is, they're pretty reasonable. From 20 to, I paid 60, I think, for IQ because he's one of the hardest ones to find in the line. So
And then I saw
So-
Alan Oppenheimer's name at the end. I was like,
yeah, he plays Professor Sharp on the show. Yep, sure
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, Joe. You're such a loser because you can't sit at the table with the cool kids anymore, Joe. Because you didn't watch Bionic 6. You go to sit over there with the mainstream casual fans in their bullshit Batman shirts.
Nobody really wanted to watch me eat in school either, because I go to town. They'd give a free. Well, hell, when I in high school, you remember them circle pizzas that were like $1.40. They were nice and thick. It was a circle
Yeah.
one. Well, no shit. If they were even slightly brown, they were considered burnt, and they were not allowed to serve them. They could not sell them, but they could give them away. So
Give me that.
nobody would touch them. I'd grab 4 of those fuckers, put them on my tray, and go sit down and eat. It's like,
Of course
this
you
is free, you dumb
course you
shits. How is that burnt when it's slightly brown? Unbelievable. People just pass things up. Rebekah, it's bullshit. Yeah, and don't forget to get your free ketchup over at Big Lots, Rebekah, in case you want that. All right, Fedmon.
Yeah, and don't forget about Slurpees here in a couple weeks.
That's right, 7-Eleven. I post about it every day. Have Skeletor having his Slurpee. I make sure people know.
Did you get a nickname, Joe, from the other kids in school because of all your eating habits back then?
Oh, no.
Did you have it? I bet you had. I bet you did, and you just didn't. You weren't aware.
No, they just, it wasn't fear, but they all respected me, so they knew better. All right, Fedmon said, question for Rebekah.
Joe being
Look
a
at that.
mob
Look,
boss in high school.
He was like a wild dog while he was eating and just
He probably
staring
sits up on
everybody
the
down
table
because
like
he was
just
being
wearing like dirty
territorial.
underwear, and he's sitting there like with both his crouched down like a wild, Amazon jungle.
He looks like
kid.
Gollum. He looks like Gollum.
Yeah, exactly. He's moving around like Gollum on the table, and eating their potatoes and everything, and just jumping up. He's scratching his head with his foot, just acting like
asking
Wolf
people,
Boy
you
or
going to finish
something.
What
that?
was No, what was that on Saturday Night Live? The
Chris Kattan, the
Apple?
monkey.
Would-
Yeah,
Would you
that's
chew that
how
apple?
Joey-
Oh,
spit?
Mr. Peepers.
Yeah.
Mr. Peepers.
Is that what his
Yeah.
name
Yeah,
was?
Mr. Peepers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's
I could see Joe eating
That's Joe
everything
Amato.
at the lunch table like that.
Yeah, and he eats it just like that too. He's like,
Yeah.
like spitting it out. And
Or he
everything.
walks around everyone's table like Helen Keller in the Miracle Worker.
You almost done with that?
food, and pretends to be like there's something wrong with him. No, he's just trying to, get a free meal from everybody. And
I did hate seeing people waste food, though. That would drive me nuts. And any of them that would bite something, I'd
So
sometimes cut
Joe
off.
volunteers his time to go clean up trays in the kitchen when he's just scraping out pudding residue with his bare hands. Like, oh
No,
God!
I remember at my middle school, they would have the trash cans. They would have 2 trash cans at the front, and you would get up and go dump your tray. I bet Joe would just stand there and just be like, "Hey man, why are you throwing all that away? That's still good." And they're like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, let me dump your tray for you." And then, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." Hands it to him, and then he takes the food off.
You guys
to
remember
the side.
Police
He's got
Academy
like
too?
another little bag over there.
I don't know.
I
I'm
never
hoping
saw
you
it.
guys. Oh,
No,
Rebecca,
I
you
never
ever
saw
see the
it.
Police Academy
I've
movies?
seen
Any
it.
of the
It's
police-
been a lot. Yeah, I just don't remember the second one.
Well, there was a
very well.
part in part 2 where Mahoney gets a partner, and it's this guy who just lives a disgusting life. I mean, he has just junk all over his house. But they're walking the beat, they're walking down the street, and he's like, "Look at this!" And he goes to the trash can. He's like, "You believe that? Somebody left a half-eaten Nestle Crunch," and he's wiping off the ants. And Mahoney said, "You're not going to eat that, are you?"
That's Joe.
He eats-
That's Joe.
But I wouldn't go that far. But
Yeah,
all
you
right,
would.
No, you would. You would. Yeah.
here
All
we
right.
go.
Yeah, says the man who ate freeze-dried tarantulas and edible panties on the show before.
Yeah, that's Did you see that, Rebecca? That was
Yep,
actually.
I saw those
Yeah,
episodes.
see?
He wants to know if Rebecca saw. Did you see me eat the edible pancakes? Did you like that?
No,
What a pervert!
I'm so.
Joe with his filthy raincoat.
They didn't even look
my
like
God.
panties. It just looked like
No,
panties.
yeah,
Yeah, it just looked like a
Yeah.
fruit roll-up.
it was.
So
yeah,
Joe, no, so Joe, it did nothing for her there, buddy.
no, and they were bad. No, those were bad. I said
I bet Joe often daydreams of the day. It's like, man, I wish I grew up in a time when porno theaters were all up and down the street. It must have been a good time.
Joe trying to get into every porno theater for free. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Rebecca, here goes a question I've been trying to ask you.
popcorn's all extra sticky and everything.
Fedmon is wondering if you have a gymnastics or ballet background.
I did actually take ballet very, very briefly when I was younger.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. That's it's a question. He said you seem to have a dancer's build. So
Oh, nice.
okay.
That's good to know.
All right. All right. I'm scrolling down because I think there's been like 8 million comments.
From one pervert to another.
Well, I mean, I don't think.
Yeah,
This is the chat room
curious
of
how many
fans of
questions
power.
are there. Like, I'm sorry, guys, that's inappropriate. We're not asking her that. Or
Yeah, they kept it respectful. I told you. Remember?
What's the
All right.
skimpiest? What's the skimpiest cosplay you've ever made?
No, they-
if
keep
so,
it
where's
good.
it recorded at? Where can I watch it?
It's all been respectful. So that's what's good.
All right.
Can we see your feet?
No, there's been no perverts in the chat, Rebecca. So it's actually been
Yeah,
good.
because we've only got one
It's all-
pervert on
it's
this
all
podcast.
Eric Amon has a yeah, pretty much. Eric Amon has a question. Rebecca, what is your number one cosplay that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
I really want to do right now. I really want to do William Stout Shira, and I really want to do Warrior Goddess Tila action figure because that action figure with the snake headdress is like
That would be
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
That's
seen
my
anybody
favorite.
do
I
that.
think that's like I've seen some people do it, but mostly they're just
With the Cobra
I think
armor?
it's cool.
They actually
Yeah,
did the
with
Cobra
Cobra
armor
armor.
too? No shit, I've never. You have to.
It is kind of a shame that look has been pretty much dismissed by
I
all
love that.
mythologists for the most part.
that toy.
You know?
Sorry, I keep looking over at my toy, but that's like one of the most beautiful toys. Like
Oh, it is.
if I did a
it's-
list of, I might do this on our channel, but if I did a list of the best female action figures, that would be like number one. It's so beautiful. I just every now and then I just look at it on my shelf and I'm like, this is a work of art.
even above
I always see-
everyone in the She-Ra line, and
I always thought she was prettier than the She-Ra dolls. She's
Wow.
got those legs and like the curves and that beautiful face. It's just a better sculpt than
Yeah.
yeah,
She-Ra
they did,
dolls.
which is kind of odd. You know, I guess they felt like little girls wouldn't appreciate a figure that it looks like, you know, oh, I would want to look like that, because the
Mhm.
boys, you know, like I want to look like He-Man. You know, I don't want him to look, you know, like a 3 3/4 Star Wars figure where there's no muscle definition or anything like that. So it is kind of weird why they didn't decide to go that route.
Mhm.
And it's a soft face. I even thought that they have two different versions. You ever looked at a couple of them Tila figures? It actually looks like there's some variations. Did you ever notice that with some of the
I've seen pictures. I don't do
Yeah.
variations. I'm not rich enough to collect variations of things, but no, I've seen pictures where they've compared them.
Yeah, and I think I only knew because of doing customs for people. You know, when I'd get big lots of all the figures, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I've never noticed that because I've only known
I've
the one
noticed that,
figure
yeah. I've never had another variant of Tila, but I've had variants of Shira, and I've definitely noticed that with them. She had a completely different head sculpt.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
I don't have my variants up here, but I was gonna grab some. But even from the first wave, like I know in the second wave they switched to bobbleheads where they could move, where the first wave was just the twisty heads. But even
the ones I got were broke. I never knew that. I thought some of the extras
I never knew that fact altogether, man. I just learned something too.
All right, I'm grabbing some Shira figures.
Yeah, for me, I actually thought they were broken heads every time. I was like, well, I can turn this into something else. I'm glad this is fucked up. And now I find out that they're two different.
I don't know if you can see that. In the first wave, they could just turn.
Yeah.
And then by the third wave, mid-second wave, they made them like more like
I want to say I think the ones that I've got are, where the hell are mine? Ah, hell, they're around here. So I'm not going to waste time. They're around here somewhere. Because I've got a few. I got a few on display. Or just keep it going. I'll be right back, guys.
And then the Golden Girls had the same. Like they just twisted.
See, those to me are just
better,
way better.
Right? I'm gonna get
I just
hate
see
from
that,
the Shira
and I'm
community, but
I
like these better.
Well, they are. I mean, they look.
Honestly, I might start collecting Golden Girl.
Do it now because like they're affordable right now.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some of the men on card ones. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one in the box still. I don't normally collect boxes, but I kept that one. I feel bad taking it out because I'm like, you can't put it back in once it's out. But
yeah, but sometimes you gotta let them breathe.
But this is kind of what I wished Shira was, because it's just more badass. That's why I sent you those box arts, because I'm like I liked girly stuff.
Yeah, you know what?
Could you show that one up close, the one that you're?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and I'll save all these too. And
that's not too
look at no,
look
and
at
it's
the
not.
boots.
I mean, well, everything looks intense. They look more warrior-like, and look at the weapons.
Exactly.
And
like she always reminded me of Valeria from Conan in the scene where they raid the orgy.
Oh yeah, check that out.
Right?
I never thought of that.
Well, there's a thing. Let me see that.
So.
This is my favorite
stuff, man.
Valeria from the orgy chamber action sequence. Wow.
That's what I just said. It reminds me of Valeria.
And it's a shame because they look, like I said, they look intense, and it must have just missed the mark with the girls. And then,
they can sit on their horses properly because they actually have legs that bend.
See, look at that shit. That's a superior line.
It's better. I actually like it better than the Shira line.
Are they pushing the whole like combing your hair thing, or
the commercials were? And I actually think the weakest part of the toy is their fashion doll like stuff, because the capes are too big and bulky. They just look better without it, and the more like skimpier clothes. And
they didn't have any kind of fashions to go with it, did they? Like you didn't have separate.
No, they did. They were advertised as fashion dolls. But it didn't go with them because they were very barbarian-esque, you know?
Now, would you have, obviously this is probably a self-answering question though, but because we talked about, I think it was last week, why, they realized that girls like He-Man, so let's do a girl version, but they went full-on Barbie.
Then let's change it. It's like, no, we didn't need that. Like, yeah, I was a girl, so I liked girly stuff, but I would have liked this better than Shira.
To have had a more.
It also bothered me that the toy didn't look like what I was seeing on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so different.
Yeah, the card art on these things, which I've seen. Oh, let's see, Galaxy. I've seen pictures of those before.
Yeah. These are all the knockoffs. I got those on the screen right now, so everybody.
Yeah,
can
the
check
like
those
Goddess
out as well.
of the Ultra. I've never heard of that one, and Galaxy Girl. I'm not sure, but Galaxy Adventure Girl, I think I've seen, and Golden Girls for sure. I know I had seen.
But like, their shields are actually like die-cast. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Well, even just looking at these
like
two,
heavy.
these look more. I mean, not so. I guess Barbie centric. Like these look.
Yeah,
like
they're
something...
less girly. They're I ordered.
Well, even the card art, like the card art looks like it's like fantasy figures. It doesn't look like something that hey, buy this for your little daughter or niece, and she can comb the hair and all that stuff. Which I mean, there's
that
nothing wrong with
Dragon
that.
Queen is badass. She does look great.
Yeah, she's
Now,
awesome.
see, that'd be cool. You always wonder about, other lines. Like, they're always bringing back stuff. That would actually be something interesting to see if they'd ever try to bring back Golden Girl. But then, obviously having it in a new kind of scale, some more
I could see like a
articulation.
company like that one company that brought back Bucky O'Hare, or the
Mm.
Sectars line, like something that's just like a small like funded like campaign. We could do like a couple of samples. This is what we would do if you guys can fund it. We could put out figures. Like in this day and age, I don't want any of these like dumbass corporations just grabbing everything up and deciding to do nothing with it. Like I would much rather
Yeah.
it be from people who are interested in paying homage and honoring like a lot more of the obscure toys, because I think we all know so many great lines that weren't successful because they had so much competition.
Mhm. Did you guys ever collect any of the He-Man variants, like Sunman and Galaxy Warriors?
Never saw them.
Yeah, I have two from
if I-
Sunman, and yeah, there's tons. Like you said, with those Remco ones, all those knockoffs. I wish I wouldn't have had the mentality back then, because I always thought everybody was then copying He-Man. I was like, I'm not collecting these knockoff lines and these other ones. But I wish I did. It's like, Jesus, look how many they have, and those things. I mean, as you've seen,
the
they're pretty
Warlord
damn
line, I would have
expensive
loved
too.
to collect if I like
Oh God.
Weren't some of them marketed as like goes along with your He-Man?
Yes,
like you
yeah,
look at some
they
of the
did.
some of the promotional pictures, like show that which I like, which I if I had
They knew
seen
what
them,
they were doing.
yeah, which was smart because they understood kids like to play with all kinds of. I mean, anything that was accessible with GI Joes, I was all about it. Didn't matter, what it came from. If it was the same size as a GI Joe, I'd play with it. Same thing with my He-Man figures. So
I know a few guys who said these girls always ended up in their He-Man toys, even though they're a little taller. These are 6 inches, but still, it's like Amazon women.
yeah,
To your
that
He-Man
would have been
toys.
my perception. Yeah,
And I know at least 2 guys who said like my sister had these, but they always ended up in my He-Man stories. So I could see that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the vehicles and some of the beasts from all those other lines, they were highly promoted. Yeah, sometimes goes with all 5.5-inch fantasy figure. Like, yeah. So they were. I mean, they were clever about it. So
hell, even the Conan action figure, like based on the movies that came out, which it was only like a few figures, but I of course I never saw them, but those would have been awesome to tie in because they had Tothamon and 2 versions of Conan and God, I can't remember who else was in the line. Do you remember who else was in the line, Rebecca? I think it was at least 4 figures. There's 2 versions of Conan, Tothamon, and
haven't collected those. I want them. I just haven't collected them.
Damn it.
Nathan's Googling right now to buy all that shit. But in the meantime,
no.
Yeah, him and his Scrooge duck money.
Grimbot has a question for Rebecca and wants to know if you ever seen the Hanna-Barbera cartoon Galtar.
Galtar, I've not. I've watched.
It's a cool intro. I've yet to watch it either. He's already warned me about watching it too.
After I'm done with Bionic 6, I'll watch that.
Oh, see, look at that. She's making Bionic 6 a priority there, man. That is awesome. Yeah.
And I promise I'll get all these
characters like Glove there. It's so badass looking that I'm like.
See, she
interested.
gets it, people. Yeah.
Visual. It's like.
Nathan, send her the link to the TeePublic page for that. She said she's going to order it right now. Oh, you did? All right. She's like, I ain't ordering that shit, though, but I've seen it.
If you put a Madame O, which I have Madame O's character style in my style guide, see if Joe wanted to do that, he could get Rebecca to buy one of those.
Awesome.
She's
I
awesome.
like him.
Joe.
Yeah.
I like him, though.
No gloves.
The designs were awesome in that show.
Oh, all of them are. They don't have there's not a bad design in the group.
Yeah, and the animation's like top notch.
Oh, it's stunning. It's like when they Bionics on, like just watching that whole transformation sequence.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and their outfits are amazing.
And like my boyfriend pointed out, he said sometimes with TV shows, you'll see the best animation in the intro, but that was like that intro animation throughout the whole thing, and it's so good.
See, he's got good taste. Make sure you hold on to him there. Like that is phenomenal that he acknowledges.
Yeah, he loved it when he was a kid.
Oh, that's so cool. It was so rare to find anybody that was even aware of the show. Like I think I've run into one person that knew of it, and that was about it. I feel like I've just kind of wandered this earth and not being able to talk about that show with anybody. Like just tell Nathan, and I was like, I don't know what that shit was. I'm gonna go listen to Limp Bizkit instead.
Wait, you were telling me about Bionic 6 back in 1999, 2000?
No, I'm just making references to like telling Nathan something. He was like, that's
dude,
stupid.
No, I stopped listening to Limp Bizkit in like 2001.
I know you did. I just wanted to pull like an obscure reference from high school.
He's making it sound like I listen to Limp Bizkit to this day.
No,
that
is not what I'm trying to paint. I'm just trying to.
No, I see how it is. No, yeah, that's fine. I see what you're doing. I'm on to you. New metal sucks now. What a genre that just doesn't hold up anymore. Yeah. Holy shit.
We need one more good question because I have a question for Rebekah from the chat, but I can't end it with this question. Fedmon, but Fedmon's wondering, how long is your hair? He said, I just saw you move it and it seems really long.
Yeah, it's very long.
We just talked about all this pervert stuff, guys. Come on.
I haven't measured it. I think it's like 40 inches. I'm very short, so it's like goes a long way on me.
It's I don't even know what to say.
That sounded a little dirty. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm gonna catch up to you. I'm gonna let mine continue to grow that way.
Nathan's head
are we gonna
almost
get
as long as yours.
No, I trimmed mine, so it's not as long now.
Well, Joe's hair was almost as long too, so.
Yeah, I cut all this.
I guess all three
of you
could be competing and cut your hair and give it to
No,
somebody to make a
when
wig
Joe
out
cut
of
his hair, he said he looked like a dummy. You said you look goofy. Is that what you said? I can't remember what you said.
Like so you look like Charlie McCarthy or something like that.
I don't know. You like buzzed it down though, right?
Oh, it's short. It's not as short as Tyler's, but it's close. I couldn't take it no more. It's like right now during this whole podcast, just to let you know, I've been sweating. I've been sweating like crazy. So, because it's hot outside, but the air hasn't been kicking on as much. So you imagine if I had that hair, I'd be done. But I'm waiting, guys. Please give us one more question. I can't end with a fucking hair question to Rebekah. Like, Rebekah, what color lipstick do you wear? And is that your favorite color? Is it red? I'm just giving you shit, Fedmon, but come on, hair. I don't know what to do. What the fuck's going on? I don't even know what's happening now.
Well, then we say the hell with that, and we ask her something intelligent and fun. Then, if they can't come up with something, we will ask her something to go out on a high note on or something like that. So Joe wants to give them their pity 30 seconds. If they can't come up with anything, then we take over.
Yeah, because if they don't, then I'll just say, Rebekah, what size shoes do you wear? Do you know what size shoes you wear? Because I thought it'd be cool and we could send you a pair or something and I could autograph them and just color them in. See, I'm being a dickhead now. I'm being mean. I'm being
size 4. I wear size 4. I've got teeny tiny feet.
I
should not have said that.
Yeah,
because there are some foot fetish people out there that might get a little weird. Like, oh man, I'm gonna start creeping on her page. I'm gonna try to catch all her tiny feet pictures. Look at that. Oh my god, you see when she was walking around in that outfit?
Do you get a lot of that?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of that at conventions? Do you get a lot of those dudes that are just being
I never
too
go
weird?
Without my boyfriend.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody around you because
that's smart.
Smack him in the face.
But you get messages. I had a weird guy messaging me about feet. He really wanted cosplay pictures of me without shoes, and I was like, "Block."
And you just talked about your feet and the size of them. It's over now. Of course, I'd let you into that question.
See, Joe's gonna want Nathan. We have to re-edit the show when we're done. Okay, you need to cut that part out.
No. All you guys will be there in your pervy glory, so everyone can know to look out for you, I guess.
Well, Blue Pen has a question for you. Is wondering, do you buy props for your costumes or basically make them all yourself?
We sometimes buy stuff, but we normally make them.
Well, because most of the props that, especially for pop culture-esque stuff, is usually just not up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, there's just pride in knowing that you made that.
Yeah, and you probably 10 times out of 10 make that better than what you could have got anyway.
Wasn't that an issue with a lot of the, I think, He-Man Power Swords when those just came out recently, and there was some kind of, it was like a foam material, and almost everybody that was getting them in the mail, they were like
bent.
Yeah, bent and
I've
busted.
seen those a while ago. I saw those at not Hot Topic, Spirit Halloween, and I was joking because they looked bad. I was like, "Oh, I'll get this for my costume." Yeah, they look bad. In person,
I got that
Halloween
shitty He-Man outfit just so I could have an inflatable power sword. But God, this. I even thought like maybe cutting like the power harness off like that really shitty like fake muscle outfit. I'm like, no, this thing sucks. It was just a shitty wig and
that was horrible.
It was just a joke
horrible.
for the character. And She-Ra's was no better. They did a She-Ra one too, and I'm like, God, that one sucks too.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure they're gonna make more now.
Well,
God.
let's give one final question, and this is from Johnny Cock. Johnny Cock
Johnny
said,
Cock.
Rebekah, you get to relaunch an action figure line. What IP would you launch, and what scale and what lines would you base the design aesthetic form off of?
That's a good question. Relaunch. I don't think about like relaunching stuff as much as I just appreciate like figures for what they are. I don't know. I like probably Golden Girl. I'll say that. I don't know.
Do a custom. Take some of
There
the
you go.
shit that we've seen from Origins, especially some of the face sculpts and
Oh god.
something that we see. Yeah, because some of those
We
were
don't
bad.
need to give that
Like,
toilet any more promotion than you guys already.
she can make it look badass, though. She can take anything and make it look great. So, well, Rebekah, before we end it up, you gotta promote yourself. Any of the places people can find you here on YouTube and Instagram, anything. Go ahead.
Me and my boyfriend have a YouTube channel called Simple Tricks and Nonsense, where it's just that, as we just show off toys and costumes, stuff that we made. He just put up a cool one with his Cobra costume, and then
What kind of Cobra costume?
Cobra. He did the Cobra Soldier.
Oh,
The
okay.
generic.
Like the
Yeah,
Cobra
that's his
Trooper
favorite.
or
Cobra
Cobra
Trooper. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
You said Cobra, I thought like Stallone Cobra or Cobra Officer, Cobra
No,
Trooper, Cobra
no,
Commander.
G.I.
Like,
Joe.
I
There's
could
so many Cobras.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Oh, and then I
I
would
didn't
like
mean to bring down everybody here with that.
Way to go, Tyler.
No, I would also like to just plug Iconicon again, because Melinda and Michael were nice enough to invite us. So that's going to be 7-Eleven next month.
How come we weren't invited?
Because
We're
we're
small
nobodies,
potatoes.
man.
We're
Yeah.
small potatoes. And even if I
You
was
wait till
invited,
his
I wouldn't
Bionic
show up.
6 video comes out, which I actually messaged him about that the other night. And he's pretty much warned me. I'm not going to have a whole lot of nice things to say about it. I'm like, all right, well, just give me $500 and a written apology, and I'll forgive you, man.
Yeah, I messaged him about how I fixed all the O-rings and all of my vintage G.I. Joes, which was like, what, 50 some? I was messaging you about it. I messaged him, I'm like, dude, I fixed all these. And I went on to say, like, I can't believe older fans hate the Ninja Force line as much as they do. And this is why I think it's cool. And I'm like, he's probably never going to come on the show again.
I'm sure he'll be back on. But, all right, Rebekah, well, it's been a blast having you on. It was fun. We're definitely going to have to do this. Yeah, we'll have to have you on again. So,
Anytime.
And for anybody that is new to this channel,
Let
make
the
sure
girl
you
talk,
like.
Joe, for God's sake.
I did. I just the cutting
You
off
did. You
fingers.
just,
Yeah.
It's a couple seconds
wait,
delay.
I can't wait to come back. Yeah.
Like, gee, thanks. You know,
Oh,
That's
Joe has got like he's just like that. You know, like he's like Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Like if you don't, he doesn't compute being able to operate a certain way. You know, it's just.
It's honestly always that little bit of delay. I do
You
it
have to go to the
Tyler, and
bathroom or
Nathan.
something like
we
that.
have him on a track. He's like a Disney ride.
He is. If
We
he
just
goes
have
off
to-
track, he just doesn't have it. Like, oh my god. Yeah. He is.
Well,
Joe
I
is like
think
an
it's-
old dysfunctional. It's a small world ride. That's what Joe is.
It's part that,
Yeah,
and
I don't
then
know
like
about that.
he's really hot, so he's starting to get delirious, and he's having a mirage of free food out in
Yeah,
front of him.
free
Those
frozen
round-
burritos
those-
in front
yeah,
of him.
no,
I
those
was
round
idiotically
burnt
wearing
pizzas.
a complete shirt today when I was out cutting the grass, and I was wondering, why am I fucking on fire? It was like 92
Well, that's
here.
dumb.
The humidity was way up. The sun was out. I was like, well, I got to get the grass cut because it's going to be raining for 6 days straight. I was like, why the fuck am I fucking pass out? And I was like, oh, yeah, I wore the black shirt.
You could have like mowed with that, with no shirt on there or something like that. But,
I don't want to get everybody in the neighborhood excited. You know how it is. I mean, take the mask off, take the
Ah.
shirt off. You got people passing out.
Then you don't
man,
want people,
like,
sending you a message. So, Joe, what size shirt you wear? What size are your feet?
You got
Yeah.
people saying the vapor, they're getting the vapors, and you got just people just dropping like flies. It ain't from the heat; it's from the excitement of seeing Joe Amato unshirt and unmasked. Damn it, that's what it is.
He must be working out with his nephew.
Yeah.
His ripped nephew.
And Trey,
That must
there
be
you go.
what it is.
Getting all bulked up.
Joe,
Oh, what?
did you? I know you're not a trailer guy, so you probably didn't
No,
watch
I
that
did
new
not
Halloween
watch it.
trailer.
I did
Oh,
not
we can
watch
ask
it.
Rebekah if
Okay,
she
that-
watched it.
Halloween, no. I just saw the Candyman trailer, but not the Halloween one.
I haven't watched the Candyman trailer.
I was never a big
imagine
fan of the
is
original
that's-
Candyman, so I was not really.
I imagine
I
that's
liked
not-
it. But
I love
was
the
like,
original. I liked it, but I haven't seen the trailer for that either. I just avoid pretty much all those, unless if there's something that Tyler has seen a trailer for, and he's
See,
like, really
that's where we have to
says,
pull
"This
like
is
the
good."
whole okay, yeah, like because we
That's the
got to
only
watch
time I
it.
do, and Tyler knows that. Tyler knows I will not watch the trailer, but he's like, Joe, honestly, you have to watch this. It's really worth it. It's not going to be giving stuff away. Trust me on it. And when he says it, of course, I'm taking his word for it. And I look, I was like, yeah, that's good. But yeah, with the new Halloween, I was like, I don't know if they're giving away any kills.
Don't waste your
and shit.
time. It was not a good trailer, and I don't like where they're going with it. Which doesn't sound. It's like it wasn't a good idea to make it another trilogy of. What
did you guys like the last one? Because I
up until a certain point, then it kind of took me out of the film.
Same.
It was decent.
I enjoyed it more than the Rob Zombie versions.
Me too. Yes. I would watch the last one again, but I have yet to want to sit down and watch. I didn't buy it on Blu-ray. I haven't sought it out to rent or stream anywhere. Like when we saw it there, it was good up until that one shitty point where the doctor gets involved. Then it just took me out of the whole damn thing after that. But up to that point, it was actually like I like seeing the random kills where Michael just walks into somebody's house and just kills them. Like, all right, I can go with that because that's what we were introduced to. None of this whole bloodline bullshit.
Yeah,
which I don't mind in part 2, but it's just like that scene in part 4 when they give the exposition. Oh, he's got a niece, and he clenches his fist. Is like, I have family that's still alive. You're like, it just kind of sounds silly, though.
Yeah.
I liked it, and for people that are new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, so you know when we go live. Don't you piss on Halloween 4 or 5, and until next time, have a
no,
5 is pretty bad.
You only get to defend 5. I'm not going out like that.
I hated his mask.
Who was that kid in 5? Who was that kid in 5?
Billy,
who's the kid in 5?
Jamie. Joe Pellet's like, I can relate to him so much.
Jamie.
I liked it, but I hated the mask.
Whatever. The movie's a piece of shit, and you know it.
No. Quote.
God.
Tyler's lost. He's like, I can't do a quote now. So
I have my quote, but Joe's like, no, quote.
The mask.
All right, I had 2 here, but I guess with all the perverted comments, I guess I can't say that one for fear of like sounding like a pervert. So I'll abstain from that one.
Yeah, don't you join the rest of them.
Yeah, well, it's from a great movie though, and a woman.
I want to hear it now. I want to hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. I can see your dirty pillows.
Carrie.
Look at that! I guarantee neither one of you guys did, and she got it right there on the spot. Bunch of losers.
That's great. I love it.
I love that line though because I just love saying it. God, it's just such a great line. I'll say it to Erica, or even when I go visit my parents and my mom and dad are watching TV. Like, Mom, I can see your dirty pillows there. Just.
What? She doesn't understand it either.
No, Mom knows I'm quoting Carrie too because she's just being lazy or whatever. But I just always love that line. I'm like, I'm gonna say it on the podcast there, and I was like, oh God, I know people thinking I'm a pervert.
That was another crappy reboot.
Yeah. I didn't want to see it. I wasn't going to see
it.
I just thought it didn't need to be remade, so I don't care what they're offering.
I started watching, I stopped.
I like what's her name, Chloe Grace Moretz. I like her as an actress.
She was not the right choice for that.
I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the trailer for that. I think I just saw them announce it, show her, and I'm like, it could work, I guess, but I have no interest.
They put too much of a modern spin on everything. They don't seem to. It's not that you couldn't remake stuff because I think of like The Fly and Cape Fear were great remakes, very successful remakes, brilliant remakes,
right.
But people don't seem to get why those were great. And all these other shitty remakes of everything they've been doing the last 20 years, just people forget them and they don't hold up and they're not celebrated. They're not releasing special editions of them.
Yeah, that's all they try.
Before Joe completely has a heat stroke, next week is the 4th of July on a Sunday. Do you guys want to do a show? I ask because 1, it's a holiday.
And 2,
it's your
birthday.
birthday.
2, it's also
hey,
my
Joe,
Happy
birthday.
Yeah.
No, oh yes, yeah. Joe already remembered, and thank you, Rebekah, for the early birthday wish.
I feel pretty good. That's awesome. They both remembered your birthday. But my birthday comes along, and Joe is just like,
Oh,
huh?
here we
What?
go. I swear to God, what happened that day was I can't remember where
You
I
were
was.
eating something, and
His dog ate his
Yeah.
computer, and therefore
I
he didn't
just
know it was your
something
birthday.
happened. I felt horrible because oh man, when he said that, and the next day I was like, oh my God. But I gave you a belated one. But yeah. So we can still do one. I mean, it's obviously not going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
Celebrate
yeah.
your
I mean, it's up to you guys. Do you guys want to do the show next
I
week?
mean,
We'll do the show
I'm
next
fine. Like we're
Yeah,
doing
I'm
the
fine.
4th of July thing at the lake on Saturday. I'll have fireworks going on right outside my window here because that's where,
I'm sure
so
I
there'll
will
be.
too.
Oh yeah, well, I get the shit all the time when people find out that I was born on the 4th. They're like, "You get fireworks for your birthday?" And I'm like,
We'll try to ignore it's your birthday next week, and we'll just talk about something else and enjoy the 4th of July or whatever.
No, I'm gonna make sure I wear a hat and everything.
Yeah, you should wear like a really out there or no, go to the Dollar Tree and get yourself some birthday supplies to hang around all over the
No,
place.
I'm not. You know what? No, I'm not going to the Dollar Tree anymore because fuck
Support your
Dollar Tree.
Then
local
go to
Dollar
Party
Tree.
Central then and get you all kinds of crazy party shit.
Do we
There's one in
we don't have
Blacksburg.
one of those, do we? Oh. Yeah, but that would be more expensive. Why do I need to spend all that money on like shitty products?
Because it's more about the gimmick of like
Throwaway
okay,
gag.
yeah, it's a throwaway gag. It's pretty much what it is. Maybe Rebekah can put together a nice custom birthday hat that says you're an asshole or
There you go.
something like that, you know.
But we got a week
Are you
left.
kidding? I'm
and
sure
she'd have
it's
to make
lightning
it
time. She
and
probably
send it
has
in the
it
mail.
mail and done by tomorrow before Joe even wakes up and has his breakfast burrito. You know.
That's true.
And she
Probably
strikes
would
the
be
type of
faster
like,
than
I mean,
Joe.
you put it in order, she's going to get it done in the mail, FedEx, UPS, whatever,
Yeah, she gets shit done. She's not
and looking
forgetful
for excuses
and
like,
wanders off looking for dumpster food.
you know,
like
my
Joe
outhouse
does.
was full. I had to find another bathroom. And
Well, like I said, that dumpster food was still fresh. It was just thrown out, but it was still in bags and stuff. So yeah,
well, I'm
Rebekah,
just curious, Joe. Like, do you ever use like a bucket to go to the bathroom? And your dad's like, Joe, we have.
I was gonna
we have
ask
a
if
toilet.
anyone here has ever used an outhouse before.
I mean,
Yes.
He probably used like a bedpan.
A porter john, one thing, but like an actual
Like a wooden
outhouse.
shack.
Like, here's a
No.
wooden shack with a
no.
no. But you've used a porter john.
Yeah.
Porter johns are gross,
Yeah.
man.
Well, they've gotten better over years, at least for men, where you can stand up and go to the bathroom in there and not feel obligated to.
Oh yeah, where they have
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
toilet
it has
part
like the
and then
water.
they have
It
the
has the
side
water
to the
slide,
side that you can
for
piss
men,
in.
you know.
Yeah.
Boy,
They probably did that. It's like, oh wow, look at this, fun times.
Rebekah's one of the
Pissing
guys
in
who's
the
talking
porta-john.
about porta johns and outhouses and stuff, you know.
But Tyler, I
Porta-johns
thought
are
you were
gross.
going to do another quote, and so
Oh.
I want to quote it now. Since you guys like horror movies, I want to know if you hit. Since you said it's kind of dirty.
Oh, okay.
All right. So if you guys get this one, she's a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and needs a screw.
Oh, that sounds very familiar.
Oh, that really
Yeah.
does.
It's one of my favorite horror movies.
Oh my God.
Because that's like one of the dudes probably talking to his
Yeah,
friend
about the hot chick. I know it's not Christine.
It was a
None
girl
of
who
Alan.
said it.
A girl,
girl
who
said
it.
it
There's a
about
girl
another
that said
girl.
it. Oh, would this be a scene too where it's like she's overhearing the line in the bathroom?
No, she's talking
I'm kind
directly
of getting
to
that
her.
vibe. No. Oh fuck! All right.
What if it's sleepaway camp?
It's Sleepaway Camp.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I love that line. That's my
Oh my
favorite
God.
line.
Man,
Oh, well, what do you think of that dude in the pink shirt that just
Yeah.
gives the
me and
finger
Nathan
like?
to make reference to him all the time.
Oh,
for
it's
that,
so good.
you know.
other-
I saw that movie for the first time at Nathan's house. I think in the early 2000s. I was afraid to go downstairs
Early
to get a drink
2000s.
of water for fear of that that freaky ass, oh my God.
At the end.
Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I ain't going down there to get any water, man. You go down there and get it.
That would have been like 2002,
Yeah.
2003, because that's when we were. You would come over and bring your Master Universe
Mhm.
tapes, and I had the 2 VCRs, and we would duplicate the tape.
And we go over to
and we would go and rent shitty
On
horror
VHS,
movies and come
yeah.
back and watch them.
it was
Yeah.
awesome.
I was
But
almost hoping that was
Sleepaway
going to be
Camp
your
always
quote.
stuck out.
I was like, oh, please say that. That's one of my favorite quotes.
Well, I guess
That
it's
has
Dirty
the best
Fellas. Like
quote.
it is a great quote. I mean, there's some good stuff. Actually, I looked up the baseball scene in that movie where the kids are playing baseball just because they're just cussing each other out
Oh yeah,
in their
that's
in their
another
little
great
shorts.
quote when he's
You know?
like, "Eat shit and die," and he's like,
Yes.
"Eat shit and live."
I'm like, oh God, that's brilliant. That should be on a T-shirt.
That's so good. Eat shit and live.
Oh, you have to be like a pair where that one of you wears eat shit and the other one says eat
Yep.
shit and live. Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be good. Be a good cosplay. People wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's sleepaway camp, asshole.
You're like, what's sleepaway camp? I went to sleepaway camp when I was a kid. I'm like, fuck you, man.
What a fun movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was a
remember the
great
quotes from it, but I kind of remember it now because that was the bitchy girl that said it. I can't remember her name.
But meeting Samantha in person, boy, she's super hot too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Felissa Rose, jeez.
Yeah. Joe, you gonna make it?
She also had one of the best deaths in a horror movie.
No, I am fine. I was just envisioning, like I said, if you'd ever attempt, could you imagine trying to do Angela from the end
Oh god.
of Sleepaway Camp? Now that'd be some creepy shit.
You'd
Of course,
get
you wouldn't
kicked
be allowed
out.
to go in
You'd be
there.
kicked out.
Yeah, you'd be done in a
You're
second.
like
You're wearing
blurred
this.
out.
Yeah,
She's wearing like a
put a black bar
prosthetic
there,
male body. And,
Exactly.
can you think you
But
could
then
do
you'd
the
have to make
face?
that face the whole time, and you'd be hurt.
Can you
face
do an
hurt.
impression of that? I'd be curious to know what your
I'm not gonna try it.
that'd be creepy. That'd be creepy. All right, well, see you guys next time.
Bye.
later.